and it's then taken behind us and then faceted into these rough gem shapes. Once each gemstone has been cut into the amount of pieces it needs to be, it's then time to shape the gemstones. These gentlemen are working on anything from a round to a pear shape, pretty much any cut imaginable. The next process is polishing and faceting, and this takes a huge amount of skill. It can take years for a lapidurist to be able to facet like this, and each one of the gemstones can take up to 10 minutes to cut. A really lengthy but incredible process. The next stage of the process is really interesting. This is where each one of the gemstones is drilled. And what Sanjay's doing here is putting a drill through faceted beads of black tourmaline. The next stage after drilling is then to get the gemstones sorted into their appropriate colours and sizes. This can be a really, really lengthy process. Once the gemstones are sorted into different colours and sizes, they're then arranged into these strands and made into strands like this. Now each one of these gemstones could have gone through a 30 to 40 minute process to arrive on a strand like this. It's really quite incredible. If there's one thing that my time in India has taught me, it's the hours of dedicated time that goes into making each one of the gemstones we sell on Jewellery Maker.
Hello, jewellery makers. How are you? Very good afternoon to you. She's back. See, you didn't. I'm not just here the once this weekend. I'm back again, and it's just so exciting because we've never worked together before, my darling. I've got the gorgeous Claire here in the studios. How are you, lovely?
I'm really good. Very excited.
Really excited.
We've never met, have we? Before?
Not
no?
Not until today. Why is this?
I don't know.
How has this happened?
Maybe they're keeping us away from each other.
Perhaps
Maybe
they know
trouble.
that the two of us together is a recipe for
I think it might
trouble. Maybe. You've got that kind of that twinkle in your eye that I love. Yeah, a little bit of naughtiness. Is that true?
I think it might be, yes.
Yeah, well, you know, there's nothing wrong with a bit of naughtiness. Claire, can I just say, before I go anywhere, Jewellery Maker, like I said, Claire and I have never met up until literally about an hour or so ago. Your designs, the pieces that you have made, and I'm not just, I'm literally not blowing your trumpet here, are off the chart incredible.
Thank you very much. That's lovely of you to say.
No, genuinely, you know, I credit where credit is due. My goodness, your bangles and cups are so incredibly intricate.
Oh, thanks. I'm going to blush now.
Oh, well, no, really, just amazing. Jewellery makers, you just wait till you see the pieces that Claire has created. They're just amazing. And you said to me that you don't actually sell your jewellery.
No, for me, jewellery making it's just an absolutely wonderful hobby, a therapy sometimes. It's just, I love it.
It's absolutely therapeutic.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, you should.
Thank you.
Or rather, you could. It's your prerogative, but you most definitely could. Now, yes, designer inspiration, and my goodness, isn't it inspiration now? Coming your way, I've got two of the most beautiful kits that I've ever seen. Pieces within those kits that I've never ever seen before, so I know you're going to love them. I've got gemstones which just exude beauty that is synonymous to Jewellery Maker. Of course, wonderful Beryl strand, exceptional Labradorite opportunity coming your way, incredible amber, ruby, which is one of the longest strands that I've ever seen, of refined quality, which is just amazing, and of course, well, it's all coming at you. Now, I'm starting with a very limited opportunity. Before I show you the strand, can I just show you some of the pieces that Claire's actually created with it, because again, my goodness, are they amazing. Now, we're talking a high-end opportunity in terms of the quality. I'm starting with diamonds this afternoon. Now, Claire, you have set and I'm just noticing you've got diamonds, even attention to detail, even on the clasp at the back there.
I think when you've got diamonds, you've got to, haven't you? They cry out for adding that little, you know, spending a little bit more time and really adding those finishing touches.
Oh, just amazing. Like I said, it's some of the pieces that Claire has produced for you this afternoon. Wow, 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 wow. And listen, we've got an entire suite you've commissioned with diamonds. Just amazing. I can't wait to show you. I wanted to show you the jewellery first because I think it really, really does set off the quality of the strand with obviously the quality of Claire's work, setting in and using. What's the actual metals that you've used here?
It's sterling silver.
Sterling silver wire.
Yeah, so those diamonds have gone, the ones I've used have gone onto, so it's a 0.4 wire that
so you have actually used wire with this strand as well, because I think that's going to be a very valid point for all of our jewellery makers. So you can thread 0.4 wire through this strand of diamonds. Now, I don't know if you know or you don't, or if it's even relevant to you, but I have been working with gemstones for half my life, and diamonds obviously since I was 18 years old. So it is a gemstone that I'm used to seeing. I've never seen a strand like this before, because diamonds, we know, you can get them colourless, D right the way up to Z. You can also have your fancy coloured diamonds. In particular, I was looking at a website. I was on the really high-end, luxurious websites the other day because I had on our sister channel. I had fancy coloured diamonds. So you're talking your yellows, your blues, your greens, and of course your black diamonds. Now, the price of fancy coloured diamonds often actually exceeds that of colourless diamonds rather. So please do not think, and it is a common misconception, that fancy coloured diamonds are worth less than your colourless diamonds. I mean, it's all relevant on the quality, obviously, but they do command some of the highest price points in the industry. I've never seen this colour before, and it's my personal preference, but I actually prefer what you're about to see to that of black diamonds, because black diamonds often, it's so dark, you can't see that brilliance, you can't see that sparkle internally. When you see grey fancy diamonds like this, you can really see that internal sparkle and brilliance. Loving this strand. Very, very limited opportunity. 8 carats. Do you see what I'm talking about? Can you see that wonderful sparkle? Now, if these were entirely black, you would see a little bit of luster across the surface mostly. You wouldn't see that brilliance inside, and you are actually seeing that wonderful dazzle across every single one of these pieces. My goodness, what an opportunity and what a great start to your designer inspiration show. So excited. Now, £35, are we serious? Never been on your Phil's just saying to me, never been within his show. I've never seen grey coloured diamonds before. I mean, Claire, you've obviously seen your fancy diamonds, you've seen your reds, your blues, your greens, and your black diamonds in the past. Don't you love the grey? They're
absolutely, and they're like a silvery colour, aren't they? Sometimes grey doesn't,
grey, yeah, exactly. And do you know what, Phil and I actually had that conversation. Grey, yeah, well they are, but they're more silver.
Yes, yeah.
They are more silver diamonds. I think that would have been a better terminology, to be truthful, but there we are. That's merely wording on your graphics. What you're actually getting, that's the most important thing, the actual beauty. Half the stock is already sold out at £35. Like I said, I was doing research and I was looking on Tiffany's & Co, I was looking on Chanel, I was looking on Boodle's websites before, and well, I'm not making any comparison at all. Obviously, we're talking about pieces that are in 18 karat gold, etc. But do you know, it's not unusual to find fancy coloured diamonds, whether they're yellow, whether they're green, whether they're blue, at 6-figure price tags. It's not unusual to do that. And in actual fact, those colours, in particular your blue and in particular your red, in their natural form are actually the rarest colour. I've got one left. Is it gone? Yeah. My goodness, you've just acquired something high-end there. Well done. Well done. And again, I know the graphics say grey, I want to call it silver. And when you actually get that home, you can see that internal, look at my fingers, this is the best way I can describe it really. It's not just luster across the surface, it's an internal sparkle. You'll love it, absolutely love it, so amazing. And thank you for making those pieces, Claire, as well, because it really does show off the beauty of that strand, so well done. Oh, I'm excited to be with you this afternoon. Now, is it time? Okay, big quantity opportunity. Big quantity. Now, if you weren't with me yesterday, you won't have heard me talking about this gemstone. Here at the Genuine Gemstone Company, this is actually the gem that I'm allocated to be the term is gemstone specialist. What that means is that basically I have to keep my ear very close to the ground to actually understand what's going on with this gemstone, as in price increases, etc., etc. Now, big impact in the amber world in 2004. 2004, the Baltic region, which is in Poland, which predominantly sources, I think it's either 85 or 90% of the world's amber, flooded entirely, which meant none was actually coming out of the ground from that location. So what happened, and I know you're thinking, Ellen, that's over 10 years ago. Yeah, well, unfortunately, the gemstone world takes a while to actually recuperate or sort of recover from instances like that. So whilst you're admiring this strand, I'll tell you about the opportunities and what has happened with amber. So only just, like I said, over 10 years ago is amber now becoming a little bit more apparent. It forms a bit of a jet lag effect in the gemstone world, a little bit more apparent now, a little bit more available right now. So that's highlights to me straight away why you're getting amber this afternoon. But whilst it's more readily available right now, because like I say, the Baltic region, which is probably the #1 supplier of amber in the world, has now, because the supply, we were starved of this gemstone, if you like, the price soared, absolutely soared. Just adore this organic gemstone, forms from a living organism, of course, but it actually almost Mother Nature, it's defied Mother Nature quite literally. It's Mother Nature's natural processes, natural decay, you know, that happens. We're born, we live, obviously, then unfortunately we pass on and we do decay. That's the circle of life. This gemstone doesn't do that, and that is what is so absolutely miraculous. Now, when you're looking at amber, what are you looking for? What is the valuing factor? The colour is really important. So in this opportunity, you've got incredible rich caramel tones. The more abundant those tones, whether they be black, whether they be the yellows, whether you be your green, amber, whichever it might be, it's all about that body colour, and also the internal inclusions. The more internal inclusions you have within amber, the more valued this gemstone is. This is very, very high end. Adore the fact, don't you think, jewellery makers, with this organic gemstone, I love the thought that it is in its natural shape. Do you agree, Claire?
Absolutely. I think, like you say, it's a life cycle, isn't it? And I know all gems come from the ground, but that really is. It encapsulates all that, doesn't it? And a bit of sentiment as well. I love it.
Really do. And I think this, with amber, you know it. Most people know what amber is. They know it's a gemstone. They know it's rare. They know it's valued. So even as a little girl, I think I knew that amber was something of very like diamonds. You do. Yeah. You know it, don't you? I mean, if you start bringing gemstones like maybe I don't know. Let's think of something quite obscure. Moldavite. Not everybody knows what Moldavite is. Not everybody does, so you need to educate. But if you, with amber, it's recognised globally, isn't it? Absolutely recognised globally. Now, big quantity opportunity for you this Sunday afternoon. Should be at £20, and please do your research. Make sure that you are buying amber from a reputable company. Obviously, you know that we ethically source our gemstones. You know as well that you're getting the real deal, not synthetic, not fake, not plastic, because unfortunately there are an awful lot of those around in the gemstone world. Should be $19.95 this Sunday afternoon. A big reduction of one of the most recognised gemstones on the planet. You're seeing amber as well an awful lot on the red carpet, certainly adorned with your celebrities, etc. And unfortunately we do follow them. We do, don't we? And prices do escalate with that. So many of you getting involved, and a lot of you checking out straight away on those phone lines. Now, amber, given the fact that it is an organic gemstone, is not measured in carat weight. It's measured in its sheer size. Let's just hold this out for you so you can see everything that you're getting, the actual volume of gemstones. I mean, how many pieces of jewellery? I mean, I know this is how long's a piece of string, Claire, but if you actually had this strand right now, how many, would you be looking at this as one piece, or would you be looking at it as maybe varied pieces?
Yeah, I think at that price I would probably get a couple, and I'd have one very gem heavy piece. So I mean, for that you could do a beautiful stretchy, couldn't you? With maybe, if you know, some of the sterling silver charms we do.
Yeah.
And that would be wonderful if you're just starting out. That'd be really simple jewellery making and have such a statement piece of jewellery. Or, because they are so beautiful in itself, you know, separate them out, you know, have a few on some earrings, or just, you know, a couple on a pendant.
Yeah.
You know, and you've got that rich, intense...
It's so rich, isn't it? It really is. Now, we've had a question in saying how long it is. There we go, I've just measured it for you. How long is the strand? It is... Oh, gosh, you know, I've just measured it and it's just completely gone from my mind. So I'm so scatty sometimes. 16 inches. So you've got 16 inches of amber. You know... Martha in Michigan, that's twice now. I bought amber on the morning show and again right now, and both times the price dropped. Yay! Love that, absolutely love. But the thing is, you've got to get amber whilst you see it. And I know yesterday, for example, I brought you amber yesterday. I did. It was totally different, mine. It was in its rough formation, not polished. So it's again something I've not seen before. But with amber, you've got to get it when you see it, because unfortunately it's not a continuous supply. Our supply is never, like I'm talking generally on Gems TV, on our US channel, on our online channels here at Jewellery Maker. I know that this is not a gemstone that you see every single day continuously, because unfortunately the world absolutely wants to get hold of it. It's starting to get back to where it once was, but the value has hugely increased, like I said, from what happened back in the Baltic region. And by the way, they're still pumping the water out. They're almost vertical shafts, and they still have to pump the water out to actually get this gemstone. Fascinating, isn't it?
I'm just looking at it thinking it will go beautifully. That if we get time, there's a demo I might do later with something we've got coming up, and it would look perfect with that. Absolutely perfect. See how it is over your wrist?
Yeah.
Look beautiful, and the size and shape would work very well.
Just yes.
Yeah.
Now with that ring finding, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Not. Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll have time to get to give you that then, and for you to do that, darling. I know we keep you busy on the designer inspiration, so fingers crossed. Hey, I'm not surprised that I've got collectors multi-buying. I'm not surprised that we've got UK, USA already. Is that 25% of the stock already allocated? Already, but there's every single second that we're talking right now, there's collectors guaranteeing theirs, and I'm looking at 2s and 3s and 4s in terms of the quantity as well. So and there's over how many, sorry? 35 of you with it in your basket. Now, like I say, amber, I know you've seen it with myself only yesterday, but the difference, we brought you deliberately different strands, but this intensity of colour, a good terminology with your colour gemstones, and I'm sure you already know this, jewellery makers, because that's what you tune in on a daily basis, but colour is king. With your colour gemstones, colour is king. With amber, you want the inclusions, you know you're getting it here, but that richness of colour, it is almost like caramel, isn't it? Because
it is, yeah.
Amber can be quite insipid, unfortunately, and that's obviously not what you want. You don't want the sort of paler, muted colours. You want it to be really intense, so intense that you can almost taste it. Message from Jacqueline in Blaenau Gwent. Do you know, Jacqueline, how can I not say that? You're literally from my neck of the woods. I grew up just down the road from you, darling. Hi both, I've bought mine and on the morning show. My mum has a necklace with 3 different colours in it. I can now make us something to go with it. Oh, that would be amazing. Oh, wouldn't it be? Oh, what a lovely sentiment.
Mum, yeah, that's lovely, isn't it?
Lucky Jacqueline's mum. Now, stay where you are. We'll recap it a little bit later on, see if there's any quantity. Well done, because if you've seen any boutique jewellers that feature amber, you'll know that it is a gemstone, which can, and it does, if you team it with sterling silver, can and does fetch 3 figures all day long, so well done. Now, is it time? Claire, are you ready for your challenge? Do you choose to accept it?
I do choose to accept it very willingly. I'm very excited.
This?
Yes, massively.
With open arms?
Yes, I'm ready.
She's ready?
I'm ready.
With open arms?
Yeah.
Because... Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry, the boys are saying calm down. Calm down now. Okay. Are you... Phil, are you for real? Totally and utterly natural. Have you got that book that you were showing me, Claire?
Yes, I have.
She's just going to go for a little book. because whilst we were waiting to come to the studio, Claire was out and about round Stratford.
Yes. Yeah.
Stratford yesterday, beautiful location, love Stratford, lovely shops, lovely jewellers. And she picked up a brochure from one jeweller which featured your labradorite and showed me one gemstone, which is, what, about that size?
I think so, yeah.
About the size of one of your not nuggets, what do you call them? Faceted large nuggets. Can I just show you this? And I do this, by the way. Wait till the jewellers start recognising you there, then that's when it gets interesting. I've been escorted out of a jeweller's before. True story. Can I just show you this? I said, Claire picked up this brochure featuring your labradorite, again with all that labradescence, all those wonderful reflections of colour from the internal inclusions. Amazing example of this gemstone with sterling silver. The mysteries of labradorite, there we go. Glorious feldspar mineral, deeply intriguing. I'm not going to read that to you because for some reason I can't read today, but I want to show you the price at the bottom. I want to show you for one. I'm sure you already know that, but doesn't it just...
It's interesting to see, isn't it, a comparison.
Yeah,
I mean, we always say how reasonable we are, but, you know, when you look at things, and I appreciate that's in sterling silver, but, you know, we do all that as well.
Sterling silver, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's handmade. You pay premiums for handmade jewellery, etc. I mean, we looked through there was amber lobe in there for, what was it, about £50. We had corals, beady beads, which were £125. Hugely expensive. Well, you know, and rightly so, because, these are... So, you know what we're talking about, but it does elevate. It really does demonstrate just how valued and how amazing your deals are. Look at those golds. Now, labradorite produces loads of colours, doesn't it? You get those blues, you get those wonderful... Here we go. Let's just sort of turn it round and actually... I'll hold them individually if you like. So you can see those blues right now. And then with this, with a slightly bigger, you can certainly see those golds and reds coming through. It's the tiny microscopic inclusions within this gemstone that are producing and reflecting that light. Incredible labradescence you're seeing, and to be truthful, you're not seeing it as well as it is in person.
You never do you? But then when you get it home, but that shows you how great that strand is, because you are getting some of it through. So when you get it home, I think it'll blow your mind.
It really will. It's only going to get better. Now it is your challenge, Claire, and I know this is still the most popular gemstone at Jewellery Maker, isn't it? 4 years running. I'm not surprised. And Sarah Bennett, who's Steve Bennett's wife and head of our design team on our sister channels, she had a Q&A session on Facebook a good few months back, and she was asked a question, what gemstone should I be buying right now? And her exact word was labradorite. Labradorite in big carat weights is nigh on impossible to get hold of quality. So coming from one of the directors of TGGC, coming from her herself. Now, Debbie in New Jersey, hello to you. Hi, ladies. A friend just told me about a bracelet that she tried on similar to the one I have made, sterling silver, and 5 labradorite beads, £345. Dollars. So that is about £175, £180. Fran in London, joke. Hashtag jeweller's price for labradorite pendant. It's still not commonly seen on highs. It's not. And again, like say, Sarah Bennett, she's part of the buying process. I was with her over in Jaipur. In fact, I was buying tanzanites and well, not me personally. I wasn't paying for them. I was sat there just making decisions with them. But yeah, spending their money essentially. Yeah. But I was sat with them with Steve and Sarah, whilst they were buying labradorite and rubies and emeralds. It's not labradorite. Tanzanite, rubies, emeralds, opals. I didn't see a single labradorite gemstone. So coming from one of the directors of our company, get it whilst you can. Now, shall I count the actual gems you've got? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 on this strand. How about £1.79 per gemstone.
That's crazy, isn't it? And with those sizes and the shape, they're perfect for, you can do an entire suite of jewellery. So with the smaller ones, you could do rings. I mean, you could do, if you wanted to have a real statement ring, you could do it with a larger one. You know, earrings you can do, pendants. I mean, it's wonderful. In fact, there's graduated. I mean, look at that.
Look at greens that you're seeing there. Now, Labradorite, again, you'll get variations of colours. Most frequently would probably be the blues. The most frequent colour. Can you see? So you've seen them. But to get greens and golds, that tells you have got exceptional quality. My God, every single one is, this is the angle I should have showed you at rather than holding it out, because you can see the Labrador essence on every single one of those sizable gemstones. And again, what was that? What was it? £125 in that jeweller in Stratford. And it's not unusual. And you're quite right in saying this is not a mainstream gemstone. So you can get diamonds, you can get rubies, you can get emeralds, you can get opals, you can get tanzanite even. They're mainstream gemstone. Labradorite isn't one of those because the quality that we aspire to as collectors is what you're seeing on our hand right now, on my hand right now. It is not readily available. To actually be able to purchase 10 for £17.95 just astounds me. How many have got it in baskets? Multiples, yeah, so many. How many did we have originally? 60. We've only got 60. Okay, so perhaps I should have said that straight away. So jewellery makers, you'll need to have a little bit of urgency. We've only got 60. Robert, John, South Yorkshire, Carol, Susan, Belinda, Lynn, Pamela, Pam in Northumberland, multi-buying, Vera, you've done it, Julie, Shian, hope I pronounced that right, Yorkshire, Yanis there, Leicestershire's there, Essex is there, Irina, Isabel, Vanessa, Susan. So, listen, I'm not reading names of a baby book right now. This is all collectors who are loving this strand, and I've only got 60 opportunities, so make sure if you've got your heart set on it, don't be disappointed. Do you know, I still go to your Jewellery Maker Facebook page, and I hate it when I see, and on our sister channels, missed out. Why is it? Because I hate that. We've only got 60 opportunities, so you do need to be urgent. You can see the quality that you're acquiring there, so well done, well done. Okay, this one is brand new. Oh my goodness. Are you serious? I want to buy this myself. I'm not a jewellery maker and I want to buy this. Totally and utterly natural, 300 carats of multicolored beryl. Now, we're talking about some of the rare, some of the most expensive gemstones on the planet. We all know about emerald, aquamarine, those wonderful sky blues, morganite, goshenite again. You don't even get, I don't see it, goshenite. Look at the quality, brand new premiere. And Phil the reason why I'm genuinely shocked is because Phil has just told me what this is going to. Look at the quality of this beryl.
I love beryl.
It's the pastel hues, isn't
Yes.
it? I think it's
so
real feminine.
Yeah, very delicate and feminine.
Yesterday I brought you morganite. Yes. Thank you for your trust, by the way, because those of you that are dialing through and making those confirmations, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. You can look how many of you are there. Listen, I haven't even showed you the price yet, but believe me, you'll want to be sat down. You will want to be sat down because I sell morganite, aquamarine. Sarah Bennett's collection herself features aquamarine with this same sort of characteristics, that intensity of colour, with those wonderful silks. In fact, Phil, did you see, you were stood with me when I was looking in the shop, and they had, in the shop there's, can we run and get that? Can we run and get that? A bracelet, which I'm sure it's from the Sarah Bennett collection, and I want to show you the quality of your aquamarine and the quality that we've got in ready-made finished pieces of jewellery on our sister channel. Phil's literally just running to the shop, because I was looking at it saying, oh, I'm sure this is the Sarah Bennett collection. The quality that you're getting here, so many of you getting involved, brand new strand, never been on your screen, so you will get those wonderful pinks, those beautiful peaches of your morganite, wonderful sort of sagey greens as well. Not that one, the other one, babe.
Oh.
Sorry, the one next to it. I did look at that one though. It's hard for me to come into work and not spend my own money. I earn money and I spend it at the same time. Keep on dialing through. It's literally just there. You're not going to be waiting long. I want to show. I want to show you the quality. It's hopefully won't be long. But look at the intensity of those colours. Oh, is this like torture to you? Is this like torture to you, Claire?
It is, because I'd like to be at home. As much as I'm loving being here, then you always see wonderful things. I mean, look at all those beautiful colours in that one strand.
Amazing. Here we go, Phil. Thanks, honey. Thank you. Now, can I just hold this next to it? Have they gone? Oh no, we've got less than 100 remaining. Look at the intensity of those blues. Look at the intensity of the blues right next to it. See? 55 of these have gone already. Should we bring your price in? I think we better had. I'm not surprised. The web, 3s, 2s, 70 sold now. Oh my goodness, for Beryl. For Beryl, a gemstone, which again, when you're looking at the morganite hues, my goodness, again, every single one. Let's look at this here. Your morganite right now, that's manganese, which is bringing you that wonderful, wonderful colour. With your aquamarine, it's your iron, which brings you that wonderful blue. But you get pinkish, almost kunzite tones coming through, soft sage greens of your goshenite. I've got 40 of you with it in your basket. It will be a sellout. I wanted to bring, I've never done this before here at Jewellery Maker's, actually physically gone and got a piece of jewellery from the shop. I'm so glad I did, because I was looking at this with Phil, literally stood right next to me. So, oh, that's lovely. I'm sure this is, I might be wrong, but I'm sure this is the Sarah Bennett collection. 50 of you have got this in the baskets, and I haven't got the quantity to go around, so if you've got, please check out. So I've never brought a piece of jewellery into the studio from our shop before, but I'm glad I did, and I'm glad I saw this, because look, it really demonstrates the quality.
It really does. And when I see a strand like that, I just think, if you do, you know, if you make wedding jewellery, if you get a strand like that, you know, most bridesmaids' dresses, if they're going to be pastels, that something on that strand you are going to be able to match up if you're doing commissions.
Yeah.
And it's not you're buying one strand for £7.95. You know, not having to buy, you know, 4 or 5 different strands to get those colours.
I love those pastel hues. I just think, whenever I look at morganites, your kunzites, your aquamarines, I start thinking about and this is my brain works maybe a bit differently. I don't know. I'm a bit out there sometimes, but I look at gemstones and look at them and think they've got personalities, and I just think this is so graceful. It's like your Hollywood icons, like your Grace Kelly, your Audrey Hepburns, that kind of femininity and elegance to it. Now this is made by Anne. Love what Anne has done. She's used all the colours within her piece. Would you be inclined to do that, or would you separate them?
I like them all together. I think probably Mark he'd probably separate them out, wouldn't he? But I think they go so well, don't they? I mean, that is such an elegant piece of jewellery. That's beautiful, isn't it?
It really is. 360 degrees, and I love the detailing that. I've only got 25 remaining now. 25 remaining within the vault. Once they're gone, they are gone. You've got golden hues within again, the quality of this, of not just the aquamarine, the quality of your morganite, definite peach hues. And if you do shop with our sister channel, I'm not making, well, I am making comparisons. I am, and I can do that. It's our own company. But if you look, morganite is a gemstone which is featured in our big collections, and it's that peach tone, that wonderful peach hue they're looking for. And you've definitely got that quality within here. So an amazing brand new strand. It is going to be an on-screen sellout, isn't it, Phil? There's literally 15 and 30 of you with it in a basket. So enjoy it now, Claire, really.
I know, yeah.
Enjoy it right now. Quick message. Nice to see you back on the channel. Look, thank you, Brian. Again, Rhonda, big up the Welsh.
Yay!
Yeah, yeah. Well, and everybody, Scottish, Irish, English. Yeah, everybody. But it's nice to be transported back to my grassroots. Need to go back for a bit to see my Welsh friends and my Welsh family. Well, it's good. I think it's sold out. If you've missed that, I'm awfully sorry about that. Beautiful, beautiful strand, isn't it?
Absolutely gorgeous.
And I best return that so they don't think that it's been taken home with Al. Well done, well done. Now it is time for your designer inspiration kit. Do you know what I love about Jewellery Maker? Not only do I get to spend time with all of you gorgeous, lovely, lovely people, it's nice to come in and see the Sunday Experience ladies and spend time with our designers, and it's just a big family, isn't it? And look at me getting all sentimental. But also, every single time I come back to Jewellery Maker, I always see something new. This Jewellery Maker as a company, as a family, continues to just raise the bar, I think, in your field. The quality of the products, the amazing deals of the products, the amazing quality of the gemstones. And listen, I'm not just saying this because I work for this family. I'm saying it because I genuinely mean it. Genuinely mean it. Now, I've never seen these cuffs before. I know you might have done, but I haven't. How much would you pay for these alone as a piece of jewellery? Now, you have got that wonderful brassy colour, and also your... Hey, look at the studio, look at the reflection. Everybody give a wave, give a wave. Jump around a bit, come on, make yourself seen. There you go. Caught you out. Just loving it. I just think, well done to our Jewellery Maker team. I just need to say that. Well done to them, because I mean, this... Love. So you are getting 2 cups, and they are solid. They are. If you haven't seen these before, you can see the weight, you can see the density, you can see the thickness. So I'll show you all the way around. That wonderful curved detail as well. All of that. See how reflective they are. You're also getting 3 beautiful cabochons, as you can see. These are rose quartz, so you've got that wonderful femininity. 15 carats in your 3 cabochons, so they're 5 carats each. 16 by 12 millimeters. Then, now this is, and I've seen, Claire, what you've created with these, and are just amazing. You're getting 3 spools of wire, 10 meters of 1 millimeter gauge, 10 meters of your 0.4, and 15 meters of your 0.25. So 3 reels. Stay. They're not staying, are they? They're not going to stay. Come on now, behave. There we go. So 3 spools of your silver coloured wire, and of course all your gemstones. And wait till you see the gemstones too. Natural white cultured pearls, not bleached. The colour, you've got that crispness of colour, and we were talking about Hollywood icons, weren't we? It's got to be your pearls. They're amazing. I'm going to just put the wire to one point. Then you have got lavender cultured pearls, which are 7 by 6 millimeters. Let's show. Oh, I am a pearl girl. I love pearls. I just think they're just the definition of sophistication and elegance. Look how beautifully round they are. Wonderfully spherical.
I was just about to say, I was amazed at how round they are. They are amazingly round.
They are.
Yeah.
Well, like with your diamonds, it's the 4 C's. It's the carat weight, it's the clarity, etc., and the colour. With pearls, it's the size. So approximately, I don't know if you know this or not, but and give or take, it does depend on the temperature of the water. A pearl grow about 1 millimetre per year. About. So these are, let's just see, 6 millimetres. So approximately 1 millimetre per year. So the size, number 1. Then you want the colour. If they're bleached, then that's like enhancing them. That's fine, but preferably you'd want to have your natural pearls. These are exactly natural. Then you're looking for what they call the nacre surface, because we know pearls form by layering and layering and layering over what would have originally been a rice bead, or grain of rice rather. So that's the nacre surface. You want that nacre. It's a bit like our skin, ladies and gentlemen. You want it to be as smooth as possible, as blemish free, because you know we're as creatures, as organic creatures, we're not perfect. We're not perfect, unfortunately. So you want your pearls to have as smooth and nacre surface as possible. Then you also want them to be as spherical as possible. And if you've got spherical pearls, and you think about it, when they're forming within the seas, it's the actual wave motion which gives them that, which actually creates that nacre surface and makes them sort of coat all the way around rather than just one area. So your pearls, when you've got round pearls like this, literally have been swayed back and forth, which can be replicated obviously in the farming of pearls as well. But ultimately, it's about how round they are as well. This is one of the most perfect strands.
Yeah, absolutely. They are so round. I mean, if I was doing, say, just a standard designer inspiration, I would have knotted those pearls and I would have made a beautiful necklace with them. As it, you know, it's a different. We're not doing necklaces, but they are that round. You could have, you know, you could have a real great
high end. Yeah. High end.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if you've actually had pearls valued ever. I used to sell them, and it was a perfect. I won't say these necessarily. I'll just say pearls in a knotted strand, gold clasp, or gold clasp at the back. You could expect high 3 figures in the jewellers that I was working at prior to Jewellery Maker.
Yeah, there were lots of very, very high prices when I was looking around all the jewellers in Stratford, which I know is, you know, it's a high, you know, it's a lovely area and lots of tourists, but big money.
It's a high-end gemstone, and the thing is, it's always been desired. If you think about hundreds upon hundreds of years, it's never gone out of fashion. And actually, I was watching. Look at the quality of your amethyst as well. I think this combination is just so beautiful. I was actually wonderful pink hues there, and secondary tones as well coming through of those lilacs. But going back to, I was watching a program, and I think it's called Secret Dealer. You know, those sort of daytime television where they go in and they're trying to buy things from people's homes, and they found one. I can remember it because I've said this. I remember it stayed in my mind. And one of those dealers actually said, found a strand of pearls. It was an antique strand of pearls, and he actually bidded it like hugely, 3 figures, a high amount. I mean, they were absolutely perfect, and they were a little bit golden as well in terms of their colour. But he said pearls are absolutely skyrocketing, and they are still one of the world's most desired pieces of jewellery. So amazing. I can't wait to show you what Claire's created. And this is a beautiful, don't you think? A really feminine kit. And I bet you loved it, Claire.
I did. It's very me. When I opened it, I did think, what absolutely gorgeous colours. Colours, the shapes, everything.
Yeah. Real elegance, elegance. Now, I've got no idea what Phil's actually planning to take. £53 and 5 pence is where it should be. Are you serious? Bear in mind you have got 2 of these beautiful cups and your cabochons, which are 5 carat each. Should be £53 and 5 pence.
Wow, that is a brilliant price. Because even if you just, I mean, those cuffs, you don't do anything with them.
No.
They are so on trend. You've got all your wonderful gauges of wire. You've got those amazing pearls.
How many pieces have you created from this kit?
I've done 5 there, and they are all they're wire and gem heavy. There's not very much subtlety about them with they're
amazing.
They are laden with everything.
Yeah, but can I go back to what I was first saying? Before I brought you this, before we showed you this kit, well done, Jewellery Maker. Well done, because I do not know anywhere, and I do a lot of research on gemstones, I do not know anywhere that can come even remotely close, and this is the bones of it, for this on its own.
I mean, that's beautiful. Look how that, you know, gorgeous.
I do not know any other jeweller, and you, all right, you have to invest your time, and you'll have to invest in beading thread and sterling silver class maybe, but I do not know where I could buy a genuine, natural, spherical pearl necklace for $29.95. I know this is all about cuffs, but I'm just saying for this one strand.
Absolutely, yeah. Look at it, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Look how it just transforms an outfit. I'm wearing the simplest dress, and all of a sudden you know just pop this around the neck, and it just transforms it, doesn't it? Now, anyway, it's not about necklaces. It's about Claire's pieces, and I'm not just saying it, Claire, to blow your trumpet, and because we've met for the first time today. I'm saying it because I genuinely mean it. What you have created is some of the finest pieces of jewellery I've seen here at Jewellery. I genuinely mean it. Some of the finest pieces that I have seen at Jewellery Maker.
That's lovely, thank you very much.
And we've got such amazingly talented jewellery designers, but the intricacy of your work, you really should look at commissioning pieces.
Thank you. I love it. I love anything to do with wire work, and if it's pretty like that, it's just a passion. It's wonderful. It's a brilliant kit.
Claire, they're just beautiful. I wouldn't know which one to choose. That's the thing. That's for me to actually come. Say we were in a shop right now. Because let's put ourselves in that scenario, and this is your creation, so you're standing there as the artist, and you are an artist, absolutely. Imagine yourself now walking. This is Jewellery Maker Studios, the shop. Which one do you choose? Because I like that. Oh, I want that one. Oh, I'd want them all. I won't.
Well, they'd go very nicely together, wouldn't they? I mean, that's the beauty of the kits.
Look at the skill the sheer skill and the perfection.
I love this. It's really warm in here, and I'm blushing now. I'm getting even hotter now.
Well, Claire, those people that know me know my background. I'm not an actress. Before I came here at Jewellery Maker, I was in Gemstones and I was in jewellers. That's my job. That was my job before. So I'm not acting. I genuinely mean, look at the quality.
Oh, thank you.
Don't you think? Just amazing. I love this as well. Do you know what?
But look at how perfectly, I mean, that kit has been put together so well, because you've got those wonderful colours, you've got fantastic gauges of wire. I mean, look at how those pearls, they work so beautifully together.
Hundreds of pounds I would expect that to sell for.
Beautiful, and those cabochons are fantastic.
Amazing.
The size and the hue of the pink, beautiful.
Oh, I love what you've done here as well with that cuff. So you've... Don't you think, Jewellery Makers, these are... half the stock has already gone. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. How do you choose? And if you replicate these at home, I'd love to see them.
Oh, yes. I love seeing what people have made.
Oh, God. Look at the skill. Where have you been?
Where
have you been? Yeah, because when I was upstairs, where have you been? When I was upstairs in the Jewellery Maker office, where have you been? Amazing, absolutely incredible. The quality of actually the craftsmanship there, and this is everything in the kit that you've used.
Yes, yeah.
So all of the gauges of wire.
Yes, yeah. I added on the larger cuff, I added some 0.6 wire to those. But yeah, everything else is it's in there.
You've got some messages into the studio. Hi Elle, just turned on to find you. Oh, bless you, thanks. And selling, aren't they?
Aww.
Great to see you. Nice to be back with you. I'm getting all sentimental now as well.
I know,
I put a little post on my Facebook page earlier. Yeah, back to my roots. I love coming to Jewellery Maker. I love spending time. Thank you so much, Ethne. Nice to be with you. Debbie in New Jersey, OMG, Claire, you are so creative.
Aww,
isn't
thanks,
she?
Debbie. Thank you. That's lovely.
Isn't she? You really are. Angela and Surrey, JM Studios, you are amazing. This is your best kit. Yeah, got the kit. Hope I can. What's the matter with me? I can't read. I can't read today. I'm usually quite good at English. Hope I can do that one. Looks only an inch as good as yours.
Oh, I'm sure you will, Angela. And if you need any help, then just give me a shout. And
oh, see, that's so lovely.
You know.
The fact that you are.
We'll
that's
go through it.
What Jewellery Maker is all about. It's a big family. It's about helping one another.
Because I think it's people's passion, isn't it? So and they want to, you know, you want to share things and for everybody else to have the enjoyment that you do.
We're $29.95 for this.
I know, that is crazy, absolutely crazy, Phil.
$29.95, and I'll say it again, for that pearl strand alone.
Yes,
I defy. In fact, should we do a challenge? I'll put it on my Facebook page. Let's do a challenge. See if we can find a complete knotted pearl necklace, which is perfectly spherical, with your sterling silver clasp, maybe in any jeweler out there. See if anybody else can find it at $29.95, because I can't.
No, and I think if you have a look at that piece there and you really see it when they're separated out, so whether you're going to use, you know, replicate that or just with spaces, you can see how
perfect
they are, you know, so round.
And how perfect your work is, Claire. Which one are you going to demonstrate?
I'm going to try and do the second one in, so that the really fine, the one next.
This one?
Yes, yeah, and I've got really sweaty hands, so I'm sorry, that's why I'm rubbing.
It is hot in the studios today, isn't it?
So I'm going to have a go and try and make it as interesting as possible, but because it's quite a delicate weave and it's a slightly different way of setting a cabochon, so you'll have to bear with me.
No, it's pieces like this, and like I said, the lovely Rachel Norris, or the Gemma Crow, all of our amazing Mark, I know, does amazing wire work too. Debbie, I was with yesterday. It's pieces like this that I come in and go, how do you do it, Jewellery Maker? How do you? I haven't got patience, so you obviously have got a lot of patience.
Yes, yeah, I think I have got. With some things and not others.
Okay,
yeah.
let's see.
So,
I'm excited. Make sure you do keep down through, because by the way, how are we looking on stock levels, Phil? 20 left, and there's 20 in your baskets.
Oh, get it. You won't regret it, because it's a beautiful.
No, I tell you what.
Kit.
I'll say this: if you buy this kit and you restrand it into a knotted necklace for me, I'll pay 30 quid. I will. I'll pay you 30 quid. If you buy this kit and you restrand that necklace for me, put it on a clasp, because I can't do any of that. I'm not a jewellery maker. I'll pay you 30 quid for it. Amazing. At least. Anyway.
Okay, so I'm going to start with, we're going to do that very, very, it's quite a fine weave, and I'm going to try and talk through it as I do it. And I've done some prep work at home, so it'll look like I've skipped some of it. So again, if you have any problems, just get in touch with me, but we'll go through it really slowly. We'll try and talk it through, because when I do a weave, I'm not very good with, you know, say like knitting, pattern, following, things like that. I have to look and break it down into very, very small sections. Small sections, and just do that section. I've completed that, give myself a little pat on the back, then move on and keep going like that. So you don't sort of, you know...
Bite-sized chunks.
Yes, very much so. So if we start off, so we're going to do the fine weave one with the cabochon in the centre. So if you start with your 1mm wire, and if you take, when you're starting off, if you cut yourself, it's 9 pieces of the 1mm wire that you want, which sounds quite a lot if you're doing a weave, but you'll see how we bring the two together, because we sort of separate it out and then bring them together. So if you cut yourself 9 pieces of the 1mm, and I would say if it's your first go at doing it, maybe do about 8-9 inches, because then that gives you enough to play with. Okay, so I've cut slightly smaller for the purposes of the demonstration, some smaller lengths. And I'm also going to do the weave in the copper coloured wire, so hopefully you can see it a little bit better.
Yeah, that makes sense, so everybody can follow it a little bit better.
And you're going to do the weave in the 0.4 that comes in the kit as well.
So the weaving wire, you'll use it, because just to recap, we had what wire in 1mm?
Yeah. Was it 0.25?
0.25 and 0.4. So you've got all gauges then. Yeah. So you 15 metres of your 0.25 and 10 metres of your 0.4. So, and your 1mm. So
yeah.
And I assume that you'll have lots left over.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah. Well, you know, I've done all those, and they are, like I said, they're wire-heavy pieces. So if you, so you've got your said about 8 inches, 8 to 9 inches of your 1 mil. If you then try and get about 3 foot, I don't know what that is in centimetres, 3.5 foot of your weaving wire.
Not great at things like that.
It's maths. I don't do maths.
No, not me. Do you know I was having this conversation with my other half literally before I came into the studio. I said, when we have children, if they come to me for mathematical issues, it's just going to be like go.
Yeah, I don't do the maths. I do the English and the
yeah,
drawing,
same.
yeah.
I can't. I'm rubbish.
Crafty bits.
Still don't get it.
Yeah. So if we start. And I'm just smoothing out any kinks on the 0.4. So I'm going to take one of my 1 mil, and I'm going to just start. So I've just got a little tail here. I'm just going to pinch those together, and I just want to anchor on. So I'm going to do a couple of wraps on the first piece. So you can see that, and pushing them down really nicely. So you can see that's just caught onto that. So then I'm going to take another one and lay it next to it. Just have a look there. And I'm going to just check my wire there. So if I start, and I'm going to go, so I've gone there. So I've got my second, so my number 2. So if we say this is my number 1 and this is my number 2, so I've anchored onto my number 1, and I'm just going to go across twice the 2 wires together. So you can see there, so I've anchored and then I've got a wrap of 2. I'm going to take my third piece and bring that down. Now the way to try and remember it of which ones to wrap is when you've wrapped 2 there, you're going to sort of bisect. Would it be bisect if it's 2 there? In between the 2 that you've already done. So we've got here, so we've added number 3, and I'm going to wrap over
2 of the next 2?
Yeah, of okay. 2 and 3. So you can see I'm building up. I want to ideally build up a little triangle. So you can see there. And then I'll add in number 4. So again, in the same way, I'm going to come and I want to wrap 2 wires, and I want to bisect those 2 there. So in between, the ones I've just done. So if I bring that through, and again push it up, and don't do it too tightly because you'll need to have you need to move it around a little bit. So bring those up. So if I just show you there, like that, you can see. So you're starting to get you've got like a little step.
Like steps, yeah, yes. I was going to say that, yeah, amazing.
So if you then get your other pieces of wire and you do exactly the same, so you'll notice on there, that's the 4, so we've got 4 on there. If you repeat that process with 5 on your other bits of wire, if I just move that around, sorry, that way, so you can see all I've done there is repeated what I've just done there on 5 pieces. Okay, so if I just bring that down and bring it, and now what helps me when I'm doing weaving is this 5th wire, so that I know that that's the 5th wire and that's the middle one. You can see it's a little bit longer.
Oh,
and I find that really helps. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring those 2 together. So if I just move those up, you know how I said to try and keep it not too tight, because you want this manoeuvrability, and it just really helps with when you're doing the weaving. So if I bring those together, you can see that already is starting to create that triangle.
I was going to say, and you've done it opposite ways, so they're almost like the roof of a house, if you like.
That's it. And when you push them, I mean, they're quite loose at the moment, which is what you want it to be. But when you've done more of the weave and you're pushing that, they sit together really nicely, and you get that real angle there. So now I've got those 2 together, and I've got 2 lots of weaving wire. So you imagine, so one's coming in from this direction and one's coming in from that direction. So if I just take now, I'm going to take, this is my bottom, if I just move that one over there a little bit, I'm going to take my bottom weaving wire, and I've got my longer, I'll just make those a little bit shorter there, so they're all the same. So I've got my longer middle 5th here and my 4 either side. So I'm now just going to take this bottom weaving wire and go through, so if that was 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going in between 3 and 4, if you can see there, between 3 and 4, and I'm going to go over 4 and 5. And again, every time I do a weave, I'm just going to do it twice. So between 4 and 5, over 4 and 5. And what you can see there, that has joined those two. And obviously not very securely because you've only got two little wraps. But you can already see you've got that strength and all those 9 wires together. So now what I need to do, I need to use this wire, this top weaving wire, and in the same way I want to get some strength into that middle section and join these two together. So I'm going to come, if we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, we know that's our 5th because it's longer, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to come up in between, if I have a look there, I want to do in between 4 and 5, 4 and 5, and over 5 and 6 to get that strength. And again, if I'm doing any weave, I'm going to do 2. So I duplicate that. So I've got my 2 little wraps there. So what this is going to start doing is giving me this section. If you have a look on there, if I do a few more while you're looking, and that's going to give me that strength in that middle section. So again, I'll move my head out of the way as well. From the bottom, weaving from the bottom over 4 and 5, and again duplicate, and so I've got the 2 weaves. And what you'll see is you start getting an angle in that centre section. If I just do another one as well, so you're going over 5 and 6, and can you see the way you're starting to build it up, you get a little angle in that centre section. What you don't want to do is cross your wires like that. So if I just bring that down, there we go, and duplicate round, and I'll hold this up. So you can see there, if I show you that section, so you've got that diamond effect, and then you're creating this middle section here.
So you're at this stage, you're just about to go into this stage here. So you've created the diamond and you're now about to do this bit right here.
So what you do for that centre section is you want to keep doing this same 2 of each over in that, if I get my words out.
We're struggling today, aren't we? I can't read. I can't speak.
It's not going well, is it?
It makes for interesting viewing, anyway.
So what you need to do is that weave, so where you're doing the two in the centre, you need to do 7 of each of those. So if I bring that back round, so you're going to do 7, and what that does, it's a really, really delicate weave, but it's giving you that strength of binding all those wires, because 9 wires is quite a lot to work with, but it's giving you, once you start doing a few of those, it's just really, really binding those together. I mean, you can see already that's not a particularly tight weave, and those wires aren't going anywhere.
And also you can see they lay perfectly flat next to each other.
That's it, exactly. When I say like you bisect a couple of the weaves that you've just done, it really, really does. It makes the wires. If you've straightened the wires out, say with your nylon pliers, or got all the kinks out, it just brings it into a really, really nice flat piece. So
aren't they amazing? They're just. Oh,
I'm just bringing that down.
You're so clever.
Thank you. I appreciate this. It's not the most interesting TV, is it? This section, but it just shows you how you're going to. So what you would do is again, when you've done a little bit, just squidge it down, really, really squidge down, and to get it. And you can I've still got a little bit of movement there. So when I want to, because what I want that to do is eventually I'll want it to move all the way down here. So I need to. Bear that in mind when you're doing this sort of weave. You don't want to pull it really, really tightly, because then you'll just be stuck at this end, and you won't be able to move it down. So when you carried on, and you've done all your 7 here. So what you're going to do is you then need to start building off to do those other angles and to do the diamond shape. So if we just have a look here, I'm just going to take then, all the time bearing in mind, so I've still got that 5th wire there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go down and do the bottom section first. So I'm bringing in, I'm coming down with this bottom weaving wire, and I'm going to go in between 1 and 2. So there's 1, there's 2. So I'm coming in between, sorry, 2 and 3. And in exactly the same way, every time I do a weave, I do 2 wraps. So I'm wrapping around, I've come in between 2 and 3, and I'm wrapping around 3 and 4. So if I do that again, so around there, and I want the 2 wraps. Then I'm going to come down, and I'm going to go in between 1 and 2. And in the same way that I said before, when you do your next wrap, you're going to bisect the wrap that you did previously. So I'm coming in, so I've come out from the bottom between 1 and 2, and I'm going over, and I'm going to go between 3 and 4.
Well, I guess once you're in the swing of things,
absolutely,
then you're off, aren't you? You are
absolutely.
Really off. It's kind of like. Well, it's not like this at all, but sometimes like when you're in, I was at a sports day the other day, when you do little kids, once they're in a swing of a 3-legged race, they're off, aren't they?
Yes.
So the same process, once you're going.
Once you're going, and that's what I mean, if it depends what you're like. I mean, some people can just look at a pattern and they just go and they do it, and it's mindless. And I think after, when you get into the swing of it can be, but how I need to do it for my sanity is I have to break it down. So I would look at that weave, and I have to do it in the little sections of the diamonds, and then, like I said, do that little bit, have a little look at it, fiddle about with it, and then move on to the next section. So you can see that I've in the same way that I did that first bit, so we've now gone down again. So again, you would do exactly what you've done on this bottom section along the top. So I'm coming in.
You've got so many questions coming into the studio.
Oh no, right, okay,
well. So
okay.
Shall we bring some of those in? I can ask you whilst you're...
Yeah, sure. I'll do my best.
From Elena, hello. Claire, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. What amazing, beautiful pieces. You are such an inspiration. Cannot wait to see them in action. Lovely to see you again on the show. Lovely to be with you. You are an inspiration. Amazing,
thank you. That's
amazing,
really lovely.
amazing designs. I totally agree with you, Elena. And good name, by the way. Victoria, Claire, I am in awe of your jewellery. Every piece of jewellery I've seen of that you make is amazing.
Oh,
totally agree, Victoria.
Thank you.
Really, I can't pick. I can't pick.
That's
so
lovely.
many messages you've got coming in.
But you can see, can't you? It's not, it's
Ask Claire what she did before she started making jewellery. Good questions from Debbie in New Jersey.
Oh dear. I'm a technical gas engineer, so I could...
A technical gas engineer?
Yes, yeah.
Are you really?
I am, yeah.
My gosh, I did not expect you to say that.
So if you have any problems with your central heating?
Are you serious?
I'm your woman. Well, I'm probably not actually now. Yeah, so like cookers, fires,
Really?
yeah, boilers, yeah, any radiator problems.
I tell you what, she's not your stereotypical, is she? She's talented and beautiful, and she can also fix your gas heating.
Yeah, probably not very well.
I could have done with you last winter. My heating was broken, and I literally spent pretty much 3 months over Christmas in a onesie, in shoes, gloves. I would freak. My house was so cold. Anyway, what size bracelet does this make roughly? Is there a bracelet board handy to measure on at all? I really want to do a wire weaving course with JM. I think Claire's going to have a little look for you, Eleanor.
I mean, how I do it, I haven't got, my wrists are quite small, so, and what I do is because of how they sit, you want to just sort of pinch them. I just pinch, so I do a little turn, and I use a part of cream as a mandrel for it. But I mean, it's each their own, really. If you do that sort of 8 to 9 inches, you will have enough, I think, to, for most. I mean, it might be a little bit of trial and error.
Most bracelets go up to about that. They start, for example, on our sister channels, they do 6 inch, they do 7 inch, and they do 8 inch, but they're extendable. So probably 9 inch would be the top.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, that does tend to be sort of the size. I agree.
I think the best way with the designs that are not so much that one, but the other designs where it sort of fully sits on your wrist, is to you want them a little bit smaller, so that if you've got a gem there, that it sits really nicely. That's the focal point, so that it sits and sort of grips,
doesn't swing round.
Yes, yeah,
totally get that.
But again, that's entirely, that's up to you really, of what you feel comfortable.
No, that's a top tip. I hope that helps, Eleanor, because I agree with that. There's nothing worse than wearing a bracelet which is so big. it falls down over your hand and you're not seeing the beauty of the design. Fran in London, any tips to keep the wire straight? The pieces are all worthy of a professional jeweller commanding 4 figures. Totally agree.
Fran, thank you.
Totally agree, Fran. I like I say, I've worked in those jewellers. Absolutely do agree. Any tips?
I suppose to try and do what I'm not doing here. So anything, if you've got anything lying around, the wire will just catch on it, because that's just the nature of wire. So yeah, try and clear everything out. And so if you've got like a nice working area, again, all of these things are that I don't do, but it would probably make it a little bit easier. And to just, I mean, I do it without thinking now. I just do that a lot while I'm working. So you're getting rid of any kinks. And just trying, if you hold your, I'm holding it like that, so you can see there. So I've got my thumb at the front and my my finger at the back here, and that's just keeping those wires. Can you see? So they're pointing in the right direction, really.
Is there any tool, maybe? Would you use a vise or something like that?
Yeah, you could do. You could.
Because I've mentioned a vise because I know we've got one coming up. But would you use a vise, maybe?
If you had to hold the wire, you mean? If you wanted to. I mean, if you were more comfortable, and especially if you had dexterity problems, you could grip the wire, and just so you've got your 2 hands free, if that was a comfortable way of working for you, or you can get different clamps or a bulldog clip, things like that.
Well, we have got a vise coming up in the show, so in fact we'll bring in the graphics for you now. Here it is right here. Only because I was just thinking, because I know my mum, she started jewellery making, she's, oh gosh, bless her, she's nowhere near on this league, but one day,
is she enjoying it?
She's loving it, yeah. She's retired now and she's doing it all for charity, she does a bit for WI, but I know my mum suffers with arthritis in her thumbs, so she'd struggle to pinch something like that, like what you are. She'd struggle to do that. So with the vise, I assume, I don't even know. Yeah, here we go. Like so, if you clamp it to the table,
it's like a third hand, isn't it? Yes, yeah.
So you could do that then.
Yes, yeah, you could do. I mean, that might be I'd have to give that a go actually, because you would have both of your hands, wouldn't you? So you'd be able to, much more. You wouldn't really have to worry about gripping at the bottom.
Probably putting something within there to protect the wire from scratching.
You could do,
maybe. I don't know. I'm just thinking outside the box, I suppose. It's just because I know that my mum would struggle to keep the tension there.
Yeah. Well, that's why those are great, though, aren't they? Because they offer you that. They allow you, once it's clamped on, you can use both hands to either secure with the one bit, if there's a little bit you're adding, and then you can work whether you're right or left-handed.
And this, by the way, is for all mediums, isn't it? Really, it's not just wire. You can use it for various different things. Now, if you do go to your DIY shops, I'm certain they will be more than £7.95.
I really want one.
Have you not got one?
No, I know. I wanted to get one yesterday. I've missed out, so I might have to borrow that one.
Have to borrow it?
I've got a big handbag.
Yes, that's okay. You can borrow that, and yeah.
That's a deal. It's a deal.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, no, £7.95. I don't think so. Right, get involved as soon as you possibly can, and these do fit, so they literally slot onto your tables, don't they?
Yes, yeah. They do, yeah. So you just turn that little bit there and that will clamp on. But whenever we have tools like this, I always think, if you went anywhere else, it would be a lot more expensive. And, unless you're going into a shop to go and get, your postage is, because that is a weighty bit of kit,
exactly
isn't it?
What Debbie Kershaw was talking about yesterday. She was saying, and we had various different products with weight like this, and this is really weighty. You would expect to pay a premium for the postage, wouldn't you? Well, you don't do that here at Jewellery Maker. It's one postage all day, irrespective of the weight and irrespective of the number of items. So, but this has been designed for your crafts. So there's nothing stopping you using it for DIY, I suppose.
And I mean, look at how many functioning parts you've got on there.
Well,
it's not like it's just a lump of metal. Yeah, there's a lot going on in there.
Michelle, could Claire trial the clamp? Oh, we're putting pressure on her now.
I like it.
Please, and feedback, as I have dexterity issues. Please. Right, well, we can't attach it to the table because there's drawers under here, but...
I could take it home, couldn't I, Michelle? And then feedback. I could do that properly and then let you know.
What about, yeah? Or can I hold it?
Yes, yeah.
Or is this putting too much pressure on you?
Should we have a little go?
I'll put that in. Let's have a go. Let's have a go. Let's have a whirl for Michelle. Right,
and if it doesn't work, I can blame you anyway, because you're in charge of it.
I brought it up. So yeah, it's fine. Blame me otherwise. But okay, we are sampling something out now, and I'm the table.
So
So you're clamping that down.
Yeah. So you might. I think. So if you were doing this at home, because you wouldn't want to damage the
what? Yeah. I'd put something there to protect it.
Or maybe some kitchen towel or something like that. That's gonna little spongy bit. So I've just put that in there. So
I'm the tape. Is that the right height?
Yeah. I can bend down.
Do you want me to turn this way?
No, that's fine. Is that?
You position me as you want me.
You're fine there.
Okay.
Right. So I've now got 2 hands.
Loving this live television.
So all I'm going to do to make it a little bit easier, and look, I can do this with 2 hands now. So I'm just splaying those wires out. So if I have a look, I'm going to start off with this bottom wire. Can you see? Shall I move it? Move it round.
There we go.
Yeah, like that. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to come up between 1 and 2 here. Please don't come from the back to see my.
Claire was like. Yeah.
So can you see? So I've got that. So I'm just.
It's a right view behind us two right now.
And I'm just going to bring that so you can see that, and because I'm not having to hold here, so I can just use.
You need to get one of these.
I do.
No, you don't.
I do.
You've got it sussed anyway, darling. But
yeah. So if I wasn't doing it at a bit of a funny angle, you can see there.
So would it help?
Yes.
For dexterity issues,
yeah, because you're just using one. Can you see this? Am I?
Yeah. How about? Oh, sorry, darling.
That's all right.
Your table won't move, obviously.
If I just bring that. This is a lot better actually, because you haven't got to worry about getting your head in the overhead camera. So Phil's not going to come and tell you off.
But you're actually going really quickly now. You're motoring, aren't you?
I am. So there you go. You can see.
So it is useful then,
it's
Michelle.
Funny angle, but there we go.
There we go. So in answer to your question, yeah,
brilliant.
It helps. So Michelle's asked, brilliant idea. Claire, take it home. Thank you for trying to show us viewers. I think she did.
Thanks, Michelle. Thank you.
It worked, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah, just thinking. I have glued some spare bits of leather. Good idea. To the mouth of my vise to protect my wire, and that's from Susan.
Brilliant.
Great idea.
Yeah, really good.
Great idea. Anyway, do you want me to unvice it?
Well, you can see now. So that's the start of the weave.
Yeah.
So that's like I say, if you have any problems, please feel free, and if I can help, I will do. So when you've created that section. So if you're doing it in blocks, so you would do. If I just show you, so I've done that. That was the last little bit that we did. So you would just repeat that. Shall I show you? Sorry, it's me. I'll show you. So you can see you're starting to get. So you would just go all the way up in exactly the same way. So going through each wire that you've just gone through, and you're going to create that lovely diamond. So we've got 7 across that central part, and then every time you do a wrap, it's twice. So I hope that's sort of made that a little bit clearer. So if we then, I'll just move that out of the way. So if you, sorry, I didn't mean to elbow you there.
No, you're all right. I was
getting my own back now for the clamp.
Yeah, maybe do don't blame you.
So you can see there. So this is the one that I did at home. So that's where I'd started off. So I've done. So you've got that first angle, my 7 across there, my diamond shape, another 7. A diamond shape, and this is the size that has worked for me. If you got larger wrists, you might want to work out that you do a 3rd diamond. So that's the size that works out well for me on that.
I wish you could hear how many oohs and ahs there are coming from the gallery. How amazing this is!
Oh, that's
yeah,
nice,
amazing. And the good thing is, obviously, with you making your jewellery, you can make it to size, or you can, if you're commissioning pieces, obviously.
Well, that's the wonderful thing, isn't it? It's not machine made. It's you know, you're making it, and that's the wonderful part. So, if am I right for time? Am I okay for time?
Yeah, fine.
So I'm just going to show you now. So you've gone all the way across. So if I show you now how to how I set the cabochon. So if you take, so you've got all your 9 wires. So if we just bring them out a little bit, and you've got your weaving wires are coming out here. So if I just move that one over to the side, I'm really sorry if it attacks you. So if you just lay it flat, and what you're going to do is you're going to bring up. So again, if we're starting from this point being the bottom, so if this is my 1 and going all the way up to 9. So if you just lift up 2 and you want to bring it and just bring it up like
almost
that.
to a right angle.
Yes, yeah. So if can you see? So I've brought that's 2 there.
Yep.
And I'm going to do the same with 8.
To a right. I know what you're doing now.
Yeah. So you can see there. So all those are flat, but 2 and 8 I've lifted up. And again, just
smooth them
any
out,
kinks out, and just check here with your stone that that's going to fit in with your cabochon. So you just test it, and every time with however you're going to set a cabochon, always keep that cabochon next to you and keep referencing. Because you can't, there's no point doing all the beautiful wire work and then you get your gem and it doesn't fit. So all the time, have it near to you, keep referencing against it. So, but what we're doing on this, we're just doing a really, really simple, we're not doing...
you can actually see
so
what...
you can see all the gem.
I love that. It's almost like a sort of... well, a bezel set, if you like, at the top and the bottom. Now, just to make you all aware, we've only got 7 of these kits remaining within the vault. 7 only. That's it. Once they're gone, they're gone. So this kit is going to be an on-screen sellout. Now, whilst you're doing that, I've got, you're not going to believe this, never, ever, ever has what you're about to see been reduced. This afternoon, I am bringing you 5 hammers, your jeweller's hammer set. Now, usually closes at $14.95, and I'm going to be leaning on you for...
Okay.
Today, huge deal. Now, you've got your brass hammer, you've got your 1 ounce, 2 ounce jeweller's hammer, and your fat head hammer. Now, are these absolute essentials?
Absolutely, and I think if you've been making jewellery for a while, then you will know that they are essentials. And if you're just starting out, you'll think, well, I'm never going to make jewellery that warrants using tools like that. But you really, really will, and very, very quickly. I think once you start, any wire work, even if you don't do, sheet work, definitely. Any wire work, the difference it will make to your jewellery is, for example, you might decide that you want to make something in a lower, more delicate gauge, but you want that delicacy, but it won't give you the strength. Whereas if you're using one of those hammers and you work hard on that piece of wire, you're going to get so much more strength. And I think until you've actually tried that in your work,
you don't
really
appreciate it.
Yes, and it's like opening another world of jewellery making. So, absolutely essential kit.
Well, for those of you, Essex, Karen, Elle, Michelle, another Carol, those of you that think $14.95 is an amazing deal, it's never been reduced before. This afternoon, your designer's inspiration, we're bringing you the jeweller's hammer set for £8.95. For 1 hammer, surely.
That's fantastic.
Never has this been. That's £1.79 per hammer.
Well, you wouldn't get that, would you?
No.
And all together in that lovely case, so they're all nice and neat for you. They look very professional. So you can store them.
I love Jewellery Maker branding. I just think it's really, really polished. This is going to fly. It is going to absolutely fly. It's never been reduced before today. So well done for grabbing an amazing Sunday afternoon deal. And so you use your hammers to strengthen, but you can use it for texture.
Absolutely. For things like I might want to, if I'm doing some wire writing and I really want to enhance, say if I've got a curve, I would use probably let's have a look. So what you could do if it was an angle you wanted, so you could use one of these, and it would just give you, might give you some little dints that if you use, say, you know, the sterling silver wire, you could put a patina on it, and that would really highlight all those little dints that you've put in there. The smaller, you know, where it's a smaller head, if you're doing really fine, delicate work, I mean, you know, and the handles are, you know, you don't want something that's really big and chunky.
Well done, and these are hugely popular, grabbing an amazing deal. It comes packaged at like so. We've got a question for you from Joanne in Carmarthenshire. I'm really sorry I missed the start of Claire's demo. Can you just recap what size wire she is using, please? Many thanks. I certainly can, Joanne. It's 1mm wire, 0.4mm wire.
Yeah.
That's what you're using right now, isn't it? 1mm and 0.4.
Yeah.
But the kit also comes with 0.25 as well.
Which is wonderful for you know, when you're threading on the, if you do the design with your you know, the chips and the nuggets.
Yes.
It's wonderful.
And the 0.4 wire. The other thing that Claire said at the beginning of the demo was that with the pearls, you can thread the pearls through the 0.4.
Absolutely. Yes.
So you've used the 0.4 in your well, let's show you these pieces specifically. The other pieces that Claire's actually produced, 0.4 is threaded through all of your pearls, but both the lilac and also the white pearls as well, which are natural. Amazing. So, Joanne, isn't it incredible? Aren't they amazing? So keep on dialing through. Never been reduced before, so grab it whilst you can. Okay, back to you. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So what we're going to do now, we're going to do that very, very simple setting of the beautiful cabochon. So we've lifted up our wire. So it was 2 and 8. Just pushing them up, and I didn't use any tools for that. So just pushing them up to get just that nice angle there. And what we need to do, and you can use pliers if this is more helpful, or you could, you know, use if you've got your barrel making, you know, the different circumferences. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. I mean, what's lovely about this wire is you can, you know, you can form it. It's quite malleable, so you can form it. All I'm doing there is sort of stroking it and teasing it in the direction that I want it to go in.
Give it a little tickle.
That's it. If you give it a little tickle, and then it'll hopefully be quite nice to you. So I'm going to take that. So that number 9, I've bent that round. So, and what I'm doing there, I'm creating a little bed for it to sit on, because I want it to sit nicely there. So you can see my initial bending is way too big here. That's just going to fall out. So this is what I mean when I say reference with that stone all the time. So if we just move that back over here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to push in and make that bend just a little bit tighter. And because if I'm pushing here, I'm going to get a really, really tight angle here. So I want to make sure that I mirror that on this side, if that makes sense, because otherwise I'll have a very almost sloppy angle here and a very tight one here. Yeah. So I might decide to if I just turn that round a little bit, I'm just going to grip on with my chain nose pliers here, and I might kick it out slightly. Yep. So you can see I did some with my hands and kicked out to bring that round. So you can see now those angles on both sides are going to match up a lot better. So if I just keep bring it in, and like I say, as I always say, which is my get out, you know, you're going to spend so much longer when you're at home, really, you know, getting this right, getting this neat than I do here. Well,
I mean, it's a fair comment that, like I say, it's not just you, Claire, that says that, because it is live television, and you know, unfortunately we can't be doing that, spend hours over that.
No, well, that's it.
We want to see your other inspiration, etc. So yeah, it's not a get out. It's a fair comment.
Okay,
It's a fair comment, don't you think? I think you're quite within your rights.
That's good.
And by the way, it still looks perfect to me. Looks absolutely perfect.
Falls over everywhere. Right, so we've got that. So we're looking here. So you would spend your time getting that curve, getting that arc. So and what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that. So when I'm happy with it, I just take the stone off there, and so I'm gripping with my chain nose pliers, and I'm going to kick that number 9 all the way back out, so it's back in line with its friends here.
Ah, I like that.
Yeah.
He's back with his friends. Reunited with his friends.
And you can see it's a bit skew-iff, isn't it? So again, just straighten it out, and if you need to with your you know, your nylon, whatever's more comfortable with you. But you can see, so you've got that bend there, and you would do exactly the same on that side. So if we just do this, and I'm going to kick it out again. So my number 1 wire, this is that I'm working with at the bottom.
Your number 2 wire and your number 8 wire are still upwards.
They're upwards, there they are.
Pointing to the sky.
Yeah. So number 1 is now back with the crew.
Back with his mates.
There he is. So you can see you've got, and that's really isn't very perfect, but you can see what effect you're trying to get. So what you want is a nice bed for that to sit on. So now, what's going to hold it in place are your number 2 and your number 8. So if we just start in the same way that we started that top curve, what we're going to do, and pinch on here because you've still got a little bit of movement. Can you see here? So just pinch on this side, and I'm just going to, again, with my finger, I'm just teasing that wire to get a nice bend all the way around. And you might feel, you know, if it comes all the way down, because you can bend this straight a bit back to be in line with the others. So I'm just bringing it down. You can see it's quite a tight little circle there. So again, reference, put my gem in.
Oh, he's starting to literally snug.
Yeah.
Snug as a bug.
So, and I'll do the same with so that was with my number 8. So if I just bring that down. And you will have to play with this a little bit, you know, it doesn't, it's not going to come straight away because it's not like you've got a lot of wire work to secure it.
Yeah, you're literally holding it within, effectively, 4 pieces of wire, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Effectively.
But even if when you get to and you finish it and you've got a little bit of a wobble, you know, when you push out and you form the shape of your bracelet, I hope it's probably going to ping out now, but the other thing that's going to give you added strength is when you're bending that round, that is going to put pressure on all these wires here, so that will give you added security as well when you form the bangle shape. So I'm bringing my number 2 wire all the way down. Bring it all the way down, and then that is going to, and again in the same way, I know that it's grasped that cabochon, but I'm going to bring it back up. So I might have to just nip my, if you can see there, I'm sort of coming in between number 1 and 2 to get that nice tight angle. So if I bring that back.
You're reuniting them again, aren't you?
I am, they're all going to be in
they're all going to be in their little posse. Once more.
I don't want to speak too soon. They might be all over the place.
No, they won't.
Fallen out and
they've
had a row.
They haven't had a row. They're all reunited once more.
So you can
all
see
9 friends
there. There we go. As it pops out. So there we go. But you can see there, and again, so you know, forgive me because you would spend longer, but you can see there. If I hold it there. It's not going to do it, is it?
Yeah,
you can see,
absolutely.
So that's the basic technique of doing it.
If I hold this as well, you can see that you are literally holding your cabochon with 4 pieces of wire. Nothing to forgive, Claire.
So there we go. There we are. I promise you, I did make the first one. When you look at that one, I did.
You can see.
I didn't get anyone else to do it.
Oh, she's tough on herself. You are. Now, can I just say, Claire?
Yes.
I know that you've put one of the findings from findings a toggle clasp on this bracelet. Can you imagine if you were offered diamonds to in a class to
well,
finish
I wouldn't say no. Wow, that would be lovely, wouldn't it?
There's diamond set in both pieces.
Oh wow!
where's my tweezers? Tweezers. There we go. Now, brand new. Can you imagine this with that?
That'd be a wonderful addition, wouldn't it? Go beautifully.
Genuine, colourless diamond, natural white diamond, if I can get them out. I'll show you the one part at a time. Never been seen before. Look at the diamond set and that wonderful suede. I'm going to try and hold this as best I can. Isn't it gorgeous? This would have finished that piece amazing, wouldn't it?
I think I might need to, you know how Michelle suggested doing a bit of research at home? I might have to do that with that one, I think. That
could be a pendant as well. Let me just...
It could be, absolutely. It'd be a beautiful pendant, wouldn't it?
It really would. Now, I'll obviously show you the other side as well, but I can't hold both at the same. I need an extra pair of hands. Tracy's just said, ooh, that would be beautiful on the strand of pearls in this kit. It really would, Tracy.
It would.
Let me show you the second part as well. Let me show you the second part. Can I pop that there a minute?
Yes. You might not get it back, though.
Okay, so here's your toggle. Here's your toggle for it, with a diamond set within, by the way, as well. Bless you. That's together.
Beautiful.
Together we can do this, Claire. Together.
What a team.
What a team. Here we go. If I hold it, here we go. Yeah, we're both showing you both parts of the toggle. So you've got a diamond, faceted diamond. I need to point out. Round, brilliant cuts of 57 to 58 facets within this diamond. It's not literally, unfortunate. Do you know there's jewellers out there that say diamonds and they're not even faceted? So you've got brilliant cut, 47 to 48 facets, and colourless. You can see diamond set on both pieces. Hang on a minute. This is a should-be price. Could you buy a diamond pendant for that?
No.
Should be £17.95, £15. And you're quite right. You know, use that as a pendant. Use it as a clasp.
Absolutely.
Would you be multi-buying right now, Claire?
I would. I absolutely would. Because like the lady said, you know, so I can't remember your name, but I mean, that would be beautiful, wouldn't it? You could just put it on a chain. But I mean, fantastic with the pearls, but that's a gorgeous design.
Really amazing. And so they literally slot, you know how a toggle clasp works. I'm not going to tell you how to use that because you know, but brand new appearance. Northumberland's chosen to buy 6. Essex is there, Pam's multi-bought in New Jersey, Angela in Surrey is multi-bought, hello Belinda, Devon, hello to you Midlothian, Sue, Linda, hello to you, Angela, Essex, Eleanor, Ruth, Gloria, Cherry's there, hello to you Isabel, Paula, keep on dialing through. 2 pendants as a pair, 2 pendants and a pair of cufflinks. Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
Great idea. So you're using this, gosh, Deborah, well done. Yeah, great idea for the for your other half. I know I'm a pain, but no, you're not. Don't be silly, Michelle. But could we see the bracelet with the diamond pendant, please?
The bracelet. So with the put it on this one. Do you think that's what Michelle means? Put it on this one.
Actually, put it on that one. I don't know.
Well, I could have a go at the end, yeah. If that's...
We can have a go, maybe Michelle at the end, yeah. Yeah. So this. Well, if I turn yours round, the piece that you've done already, Claire.
Yeah. Well, I can show you how you would attach it.
That's a toggle clasp, so it's no different to what you've actually done.
Yeah.
Already. Apart from obviously this is a diamond clasp. And this is obviously 925 sterling silver. So yeah, effectively either cufflinks or a pendant if you multi-buy. Both have got, though, it's not just one solitary round brilliant cut. You've got round brilliant cut in both pieces, both in the clasp, in the actual sphere, if you like, that wonderful ribbon, that swathe, I love that, and also within the toggle itself. The majority of you chosen to multi-buy on this. $14.95 for faceted diamonds. And by the way, please appreciate, I know you can buy diamonds anywhere. I know. Okay, Michelle's saying yes, please. So, okay, we'll do that for you, Michelle. I know that you can buy diamonds anywhere. You can buy. If you go into any jewellers, you can buy diamonds, can't you? But you want to make sure that your diamonds, A, aren't just carbon, or unfortunately I hate this expression, but I'll say it anyway, diamond spit, which unfortunately, that sort of undesirable, not even faceted diamonds. This is faceted, round, brilliant cut. So, and I've seen, do you know that these are cut by hand?
Well, you know, and I always think about when you see the things that we have here, and you think you've got to have such amazing respect for the people that have worked on them. You know, before we get to even do anything with them, all the work that's gone into that. Yep. I mean, that's.
I went over to Jaipur, and we went to our diamond cutting house over in Jaipur. A gentleman called Mr. Kathari, and we were invited around his house as well, which was just a huge honour and privilege. But he owns a diamond cutting house where approximately 80% of the world's gemstones collectively now are actually cut in Jaipur. It's very much part of their culture and their skill, and it's passed on from generation to generation. But Mr. Kathari actually gets, they cut their diamonds in a very unique way, so they'll acquire it in their rough, and then they computer map it. So in its rough formation, they computer analyze it, literally on almost like a lazy Susan. So they'll establish what that piece of rough is best faceted as, whether it be maybe a baguette cut, a single cut, a round brilliant cut, a princess cut, and then it's cut by hand. Then they actually laser cut it into sort of a preformed shape, and then they go on and cut it by hand. It's just amazing skill, all by eye, just incredible.
So all that work before, you know, you've got to have
£15.
Yeah, massive respect for that.
£15, amazing, and you've got two, so I'm not surprised you're multi-band. Anyway, we'll go back to your demonstration, my darling.
Okay, so we'd got to the point, we'd bent out our 1 and a 2, 1 and 2, and 8 and 9. Now, when we've got to this point here, and we're happy with all these, the bends of the numbers that I've just said, you've got your weaving wires here, and we obviously need them. We need them now over this side. Mm-hmm. So, all you're doing is just coiling and wrapping, no weave, just around the outside, the outside bits, so the bed for of that cabochon, which is going to give us a nice, again, a little bit more stability and something for that cabochon to rest on.
Do you know, it really looks lovely though. I mean, that's one of the first things I noticed about this bracelet is that it's quite simple, I suppose, that process.
Absolutely.
What you're doing right now.
Very simple.
Really effective.
Yeah, very simple. And what I think makes a difference with your overall look of doing something like that, which I think can make a big difference to your pieces, is the tension that you've got with your when you're doing this wrap. It's very simple, but if you just watch how I'm doing it, I think this gets the best results. So I'm using just my thumb there, so keeping that so I've got no kinks on that point, and I'm just sort of almost flicking it through, yeah. And then I just push down, with and I've got a little gap there. I don't know if you can see, if I hold it up there, if I left that like that, it wouldn't be, if you can see, if I show you at the front, can you see there's a little gap there? Whereas if I just push it down,
nestles in,
and a little pull from the back, it's much neater. And I think that really gives, if you do that on every wrap, and you do it without really thinking anymore, I suppose again, like knitting or crochet, if that's what you do, it just gives it a much better finish. But also, that's going to bring my weaving wire into the position that I want it to, because it'll be now, when I start on that other side, when I replicate what I did on the first section, so creating those diamonds and V's, that's what we'll pull in to give that cabochon extra strength. So, I mean, you can see how quickly that builds up, really quickly, just in probably a minute or so, and I've got to the other side. You know, and just, you can take your time, and because what you don't want to do, you don't want to rush these bits, and you're really happy with this section here, and then you've left a bit of a sloppy gap there. So when you come to this section, I'll just do on the one so you can see. So you can already see that gives it, you know, that wasn't particularly neat when I bent that round. Like I said, you would spend a little bit longer, but already that looks much tidier and a real focal.
It does, it's almost curved it, yes. Made that curve a little bit more sort of fluid, absolutely. Hasn't it?
But it also does, it acts as a barrier as well for that, where that cabochon is going to, I'll show it you sort of in that way, so you can See that? So it's going to stop it. If you angle it, it's going to stop it from butting out. So you would do exactly the same on that top one. So bring that wire again to nice tight wraps. So what you're then going to do is you need to bring and you need to anchor quite tightly. So I've got my weaving wire at the bottom here, and you want to anchor 1 and 2 together, and you need to make sure that you do spend a bit of time on this, because that's going to be the initial anchor here. So you don't want that. You want that to be nice and snug against that gem, and you want these 2 wires to be nice and tightly sitting together. So not overlapping, not sloppy, nice and tight there, because that is going to hold that gem in. So you can already see that it's twisting a little bit.
Yeah, so what you're doing now is actually holding everything together,
everything
isn't it?
together, yeah. So you need to spend, you know, I mean, be careful obviously through all of it, because then you can have as much pride in your work as possible. But this bit, it's not only aesthetics, it's these weaves here are a functioning part of the jewellery, because they assist in holding that cabochon. But if I show quickly how you would finish the ends off, so we could attach the clasp. So if I splay out here 1 and 9, and what I'm going to do is, I'll just have a look on this one. There are various ways you can finish off. You can just either twist in, if that makes sense. So you could some designs I do, and I twist in to go to quite a sharp point, or you can start from the middle and twist out. So if we go, and I'm going alternate, I'm going to splay them out a little bit, it'll be a lot easier to see. So if I start, because you've got an odd number, because we have 9 wires. So don't be put off with that, because you can still make it look very pretty, even though it's not going to be. One will have the 4 and one will have the 5. If that makes sense.
That was not obvious at all. It looks perfectly.
Yeah, can you see the one?
Mirror image.
Yeah.
I don't know what that looks like. Sort of arches of a church.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I love that.
So you can see I've taken one of those centre wires. So yeah, that's the part we're going to create now to put the clasp on. So I'm just bringing that one, the one from the centre, and it's going on the around. So it would be number 2. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got 5 over number 2. Okay, and then I'm going to take number 4, and that's going to go over number 8. So you can see, and I'm working my way, bringing them around, bringing them all the way round, so they're all going, and you're getting that nice twist.
That looks beautiful. Love that movement.
So this one here is my odd one, you can see. But what you can see, you can just pull these 2 down, so they're a little bit closer, and then just bring that one. So although you have got the 3 there, it's still coming off. It's at the same sort of level. So how you would do, if I just do a couple to show you, and then we can just trim these ends off.
Only 3 kits remaining, by the way. That's it. There's 21 of you who have it in your basket. For the wire alone, for the wire on its own, for $29.95.
Silver wire in those gauges, which you know is going to go with everything.
Yeah, for that on its own, we know that's like gold dust. For the amethyst, which I've hardly mentioned at all during the course of which is amazing. You've got a beautiful pink amethyst. You're also getting wonderful lilac pearls, but that pearl strand.
I know, that is a standout.
And your cabochons, and 2 bangles.
Yes, yeah. Which if you go to, I know my daughter's got bangles like that are from the high street shops.
Yep.
Just absolutely plain. She wears those a lot.
I think, yeah, I can remember buying a bangle or a cuff bangle like this, and again, it was that shape, and it just had a little bit of detailing around the outside. That was it, and I know that would have been, I'd have had to, you know, it was sterling silver, granted, but it would have been probably about for sort of 50 pounds, if not more, and I'm going back way back when I was actually in school. So, all those years ago, a long, long time ago. There we go.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean, did I stab you with it? No, sorry.
You didn't stab me.
Sorry.
You're right.
I probably will on the next one. So I just finished these off. So I've trimmed back there. So I've got I've got rid of all those tails, and I'm just with my round nose pliers, I'm going around, so what would be 2 and 8. So again, just pinch round, just to create those little loops. And again, you would take a lot longer with this, because you want to make sure, you know, these bits are going to be against your skin. So you just want to make sure that they're nice and all those ends are all tucked in and not likely to scratch you. So if you can see there, we've literally
pinching them
together. Just turning them around and pinching them. So with these last two, I'm going to bring these over.
So Michelle, this is for Michelle as well. Well, everybody, but Michelle said, please can you show how to attach the diamond toggle? Which would be exactly the same if you used any toggle, basically, wouldn't it? You've got the same structure, effectively.
What I find really useful when you're, if you've got 2 wires and you just want to, what you need to try and do is you need to almost pretend that you're just doing a wrapped loop with 1 wire. So I've got my main, so if I use that as my base wire here, and I've used the other one, this one, to do 1 or, 1.5 wraps around and trim it off at the back. So if I just trim that there, because I want this to just look like one wire, because that's really the trick. When you've got this many wires, it's how you finish them off and try and keep it as neat as possible. So I need to get rid of these 2 here. So again, in the same way that I did with all these wires here, I'm just going to turn, and I'm doing that with my fingers. You can use your tools if you need to, and I'm going to trim here. Just trim that off, and in the same way, pinch it together and turn it round. Okay, a little squeeze in. So you can see now, all I've got now, when I do the same on this side, I'm going to be left, hopefully, with just 1, and I'm really sorry, this is quite messy.
It's not messy.
So you will have to use a bit of imagination. So now you've got rid of all those. Can you see all those 9 wires?
Yeah.
And we're left with just this 1 section here.
Yeah.
So what I would do, I would use a jump ring on there, but if I just start for speed, so if I bring that up, I want to give myself a little bit, maybe about 1 millimetre or so before I create that loop. Okay, and I'm just bringing it all the way around. I put on that clasp, and so now I'm going to grip on this side. I'd actually use probably my chain nose, and what I'm going to do is with that last bit of wire, I'm going to kick it out and bring round,
wrap it round, yeah,
that other half that I've got. So, and then trim off at the back, and again you would spend a bit longer, make it much neater. But what that's done now is you've curled away and hidden all of your wires neatly. So you've got there, and I'll show you.
You've made all of a rose gold and diamond piece.
Yes, which is quite nice, isn't it?
Oh my goodness! And this kit is going to be a sellout. In fact, it probably already is. Now I've got a question for you, Claire.
Yeah.
So Debbie in New Jersey. Quick question, Claire. How did you attach your design to the cuffs? Did you make a hole in the cuffs?
Well, I use glue.
I don't get the question. What does that mean?
I don't have. I watched Laura Binding have a go with it, and she could use, the hole punch that we do. So you can use those. I've used the E6000 glue.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Well, I know. I had this discussion with
That's all right.
Phil. Yeah, so I use that one.
So you've created this masterpiece, and then you've mounted it with glue, basically.
Yeah. So the other way you would do it, if you don't, if you're somebody that doesn't like using glue, you would use the hole punch, and then maybe spiral at the back a piece of wire to
But
attach
I'd
it.
imagine if you do that, then you might be able to feel it.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think there's definite positives to using glue then. Definitely.
Yes, yeah. So then that's it. It's pretty much finished then. So you would bend
My
it
eyes.
around your whatever mandrel you use. I use a pot of face cream.
Okay. To sort of actually.
So whatever you know, whatever size you, and like I say, so when you're forming that, when you're making that shape, the pressure that you're putting on by doing that again pushes. It's pressure against that gem,
the gemstone, yeah.
which gives you the added benefit of the security in that setting.
Just amazing, don't you agree? Absolutely amazing. Now, believe me, there is so much more that Claire has to show you, believe me. Her beautiful bangles and cuffs and the next kit, it's just
beautiful.
both kits today. It's listen, it's even lower than in terms of your price point, and my goodness, you need to get both, don't you?
Absolutely,
if you can,
yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
If you can, then you'll love the next kit as well. And don't forget, I have got more opportunities coming your way, more beautiful strands. What a combination of colours in this next piece. It's just the perfect kit for summer, don't you think?
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
of course, the gorgeous Claire. And I'll be back after this.
Come and join guest designer Louise Jacobson on our Wirework Rings course. Louise will guide you through how to design a combination of ring styles and shapes. You will learn a variety of techniques, including how to use a ring mandrel, how to design bands and shanks, and how to attach gemstones. The full course includes a selection of colours and gauges of wire, a generous scoop of mixed gemstones, use of all relevant tools, a buffet-style lunch and refreshments, a tour of the studios, and a visit to our museum. All of this for $69.95. For more information, contact our call centre on 0800 644 655. Download the Jewellery Maker app today. You can watch our Jewellery Maker shows live, view all the details of the item that is currently on air, as well as browsing all the items from today's show. You can also minimise the video or switch to use as a companion app. Get the Jewellery Maker app today and boost your viewing experience.
You can now watch clips from Jewellery Maker on our YouTube channel. Get interactive with Jewellery Maker.
The latest edition of the Lure Book is now available. This highly regarded gemstone encyclopedia features over 1,300 pages full of facts and knowledge. Discover the places, the people and the stories behind every gemstone. To get your hands on a copy, contact our call centre on 0800 644 655.
So you have a modern drill now, but we were talking earlier on that caveman or 6,000 years ago they were making jewellery, and you were telling me how difficult they must have found it to drill the amber.
Yeah, the amber is really very soft to drill, but drilling it from one side to the other, you get your chip the stone on another side. So optimally, how do you call it?
Optically,
you call it. You have to drill it from the both sides to meet the drills in the middle of the stone. Mm-hmm. And that was difficult in our days.
Yeah.
So a lot of stones got broken, and one's drilling from the one side.
Yeah.
And we found the remaining from old shops, old workshops doing amber in the ground from 7,000 years ago.
Wow.
It was that long ago.
And that was in this area of Poland?
In this area, in the Gdańsk area, the oldest we ever found was about 7,000 years old.
So sort of 5,000 BC. It's a long, long time to...
Yeah. That's
Ah, what a lovely Sunday afternoon it has been.
I know.
And it's not over yet.
I know.
As I left the house today, left the other half doing blokey things, and I was thinking I'm going to go and see my Jewellery Maker friends and see all your wonderful creations. And that is probably the understatement of the century. It genuinely is. Now you're going to adore this kit. Now, before I show you all the various components, let's cast our eyes across Claire's exquisite bangles. You have got almost a Tiffany heart-esque design. You've got your hematite cuff just here, which I absolutely adore. Then you've got a vision of pastel goodiness. Every single, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 individual bracelets within this piece. Love this as well. Absolutely adore this. Amazing. You've excelled. You really, really have. And by the way, there is another charm on the back of this. Let me just show you. So just a simple little...
I know, I cheated a bit with that one, but I love those straps so much. I think
Why have you cheated?
Well, because all I've done is add a charm, but I just think they are... I mean, you know when you get components in a kit that are...
Beautiful
You
already.
don't need to do anything,
Yeah.
you know... I mean, they are so striking.
Beautiful already. I totally agree. Well, this kit is exactly that. Absolutely beautiful. You are getting, firstly, everything. It's more affordable than the previous kit, which is just amazing. I mean, that was good. Was great in its own right. But right now, you're getting 3 spools of wire, 10 meters of your 0.8, 10 meters of your 0.4, and 15 meters of your 0.25, all of which Claire has used in a design. You're going to get 2 of these wonderful bracelet straps, which I'll hold up for you if you like, so you can actually see. And I love, almost like watch straps with a wonderful mesh. Can you see? I used to actually have a watch like this, which had that sort of strap, that wonderful mesh. Very, very, very silky to touch.
Yeah,
aren't
they are. They're very tactile.
Really wonderful and silky and smooth. So you get 2 of these within the kit. You're also then getting an absolute vision of gemstones. The gemstones you're acquiring are 2 strands of double strands, I need to point out as well, of gorgeous labradorite. 2 strands. 2 strands of your beryl. So if you missed out on the first beryl strand, which did sell out, great opportunity, or if you want to get maybe smaller sizes, you're getting a double strand of peridot and also these beautiful hematite hearts. This is 38 centimetres, by the way, a 38 centimetre strand. Okay, already 10 have gone. Already 10 of these have gone. I love this combination of gems. I love the combination of textures. I love the fact beryl with labradorite just go hand in hand, don't they?
Yeah, and you've got, I mean, you know, they don't look like it straight away, but you know, you've got all those wonderful colours in there of, you know, the different pinks and in the labradorite and the beryl. I mean, so many colours in there, but it's really subtle.
Yeah, if you put a sort of coloured gemstone like, well, a morganite, like your aquamarine, like the pinks, with whichever it might be, whichever you choose, or maybe multiples of. If you do, I actually find coloured gemstones next to a labradorite will excel or rather promote the play of not play of colour, the labradescence rather from within the gemstones. So they do almost help each other. They complement each other.
Absolutely.
Don't you agree?
Yeah, I do.
Again, what was your reaction when you got this?
Oh, gorgeous! I mean, I was so pleased. And when I looked at those labradorite, you will stare at them for ages because that is such a beautiful strand. I mean, I suppose when I open them, I think those hearts, the drill hole in them is wonderful. So I know they're going to be.
So your 0.4 is going to go through.
Yes,
and your 0.25 obviously.
And the 0.8.
And the 0.8 will go through.
Yeah.
Okay, so all gauges of Y will go through.
Yeah.
Now, already 20 have gone. I've only got 98. So should be 46, 45 all day long to the moon for the straps. I'd expect it. I mean, listen, I'm not a jewellery maker, but I'd expect, you know, if someone said, if I went into a shop and said, you know, okay, I want to buy a bracelet like so.
But how lovely is that on its own?
Yeah.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is. It's a bit of fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite contemporary.
Yeah.
It's not 46, 45. In fact, it's nowhere near. $27.95. And you've created 6 pieces, but assuming you could have probably created more.
And I had gems left over and wire left over.
This will be an on-screen sell out the same as the previous kit.
I mean, it's a wonderfully put together kit because those gemstones really pop against the silver. They work so well with it.
Pip, if you're watching, my darling, your kits are just amazing.
They are.
Just beautiful. Don't you think, Jewellery Makers? Don't you think that Pip's put together some really lovely kits? 30 of these have already gone. Already gone. So, and just to recap, you're getting 2 strands, two double strands, effectively, of your Labradorite, 2 double strands of your Beryl, a double strand of peridot, natural peridot. You've got your hematite hearts, which I absolutely adore. 2 straps. 2 of those bracelet straps, and 3 spools of wire in your 0.8,
0.25.
Yeah, 0.8, 0.4 and 0.25. So amazing. But that's the benefit of getting our kits. You get a lot of components within an affordable price. Okay, what are you actually demonstrating now?
I'm going to demonstrate the heart bracelet, because if anyone's seen any of my work before, I use that design an awful lot because it's I think when you're making jewellery, what you want to do, you want things to look as nice as you can possibly make them. But what you also need to do is you need to make them do the job that they need to do. So it needs to be have a functioning strength to it. You can't just make something really beautiful but it's really flimsy, and then when you wear it would fall apart.
Especially in your cuffs and bangles. I mean, it's one of the things, I think I spoke about it yesterday actually. With cuffs and, I've worked in retailers, jewellery retailers, that unfortunately, and I used to hate selling them, I can say it because I know that our company don't do it, but I know that when you see a hollow bangle, and I used to sell them, unfortunately, it's not my choice, it was the stock that they had. When you get a bangle which is hollow, so it might be sterling silver, it might be gold, but it's hollow within, the moment you put your hand down a little bit heavy on a table and it dents, it's you can't repair it.
Which is a real shame, isn't it? It's a massive shame. So that's what I mean. When this design is wonderful because it's really versatile. That was really big-headed of me, wasn't it? Sorry.
It's not big-headed.
It's a great design for you can add lots and lots of different shaped gemstones to it.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, it gives you that design. It's durable. It's you can wear it and just be really confident that it's not going to like you say be damaged on the first wearing, because you do knock your wrists and everything.
Particularly around the wristline. Particularly around. I mean, it's fine if you want maybe got a hollow pendant or something like that, which could be a little bit more delicate.
Yes.
On your decolletage, it's not going to get knocked about. Well, it's not, is it? But if on your wristline, it is more likely. Elizabeth, I'm getting this kit as I saw all these wonderful designs when I was on the Sunday Experience this morning. Your work is exquisite.
Oh, thanks, Elizabeth. That you got home quickly. Oh yeah,
West Midlands.
Yeah.
Literally down the road. Isn't
Oh,
it?
there
Down
we
the
go.
road. So she's got, aren't they amazing? They really are.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I wasn't just saying it to literally blow your trumpet, babe. Your stuff is incredible. So, okay, back to.
So, if we start off, this design, it works really well with a lot of gemstones, a lot of combinations, and it's really nice to wear as well. So, if we start with a little bit of preparation with the wire. So you've got in the kit you've got your 0.8. So what I did, I used my wire twisting tool, so that one. But I mean there are different sorts of wire twisters, but that's the one I use. And I had 4 strands of the 0.8.
So 0.8.
0.8.
You've used the most dense.
Yeah. So we're working at the moment. First of all, we're going to work on the structural pieces, and then we'll add the gems afterwards. So I've got 4 lengths of. It's about 60 centimetres each. So if you cut off two strands of 120 centimetres, and then you can just feed them through the little holes there, and then just give it a little push down. And what you'll find, because you've got, it's slightly uneven, if that's how you're going to do it, if you use one of these, my tip is to just don't rush. Push it, go, so you'd have a wire coming out of here and one there, and one there. But because it's not even, so it's going to be a little bit off centre at first. So just go really, really slowly.
Okay.
Don't race it, because you will get elements of, if I show you, if you can see here, so it's looking really, really fantastic, all this bit, really, really neat. If I go along, can you see it starts to go a little bit awry there in this section here, which you probably wouldn't notice, but if you're a bit of a perfectionist and get really wound up by little details like I do, then you will know that. I mean, you can, if you get that point and you get it in the middle, what you can do, I'll just get my pliers, you can give it a little squidge like this with your pliers. So if I just do that, and it just tidies it all up. It just tidies it up a little bit. But you're less likely to get those areas if you just take it nice and slowly. That's what I found.
Gently,
anyway.
gently, softly, softly.
Absolutely.
70 of these have already sold out this kit, so we own 15 of you have it in your baskets. There are only 98 available. That's it. So once they're gone, they're gone. Jan, Elaine, Sarah, Derbyshire, Sharon, Susan, Sue, Carol, Vanessa, Debbie, Isabel, Newby. Keep on dialing through, but make sure you check out if you've got your heart set on owning it now. Okay, that's beautiful in its own right. I mean,
isn't
you
it?
could make a necklace just like so.
But that's why, you know how we were saying about the hammers?
Yeah.
So I probably wouldn't just do that and make a piece of jewellery out of it and then leave it at that, because it would look great, but it wouldn't give me that strength that I wanted.
Okay.
But if you take your, if you hammer it, so if I can do a little, you know, so if you take your hammer and you block, you will get. So if I just show you,
I'll grab the hammer set, one sec, because we've got that. Here it is.
Just give you an idea of the difference that you can get.
It's been reduced this afternoon for the first time ever. There we go, pop it at the bottom of the screen. Reduced for the first time ever, $8.95. Was $14.95. So this is what you're using now,
so
Claire?
it's essentially, mine's a slightly different hammer, but it's exactly, you get the same.
You get the same.
Yeah, so you just get a flat end, and I would just little taps like that, and what that's going to give you, that would just work harden it, and it would allow you to. So I would have probably formed the circle if I was going to make a bangle out of that, and then hammer it out, and it will harden. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And it will hold that shape.
Right. So if you want to get this, $8.95 today. Never been reduced. Never ever been reduced before. So well done. Okay, yeah, I'm thinking that's beautiful already.
Yeah, and when you've got, I wouldn't recommend doing it, say, if you've got, say, you were twisting, say, 0.4 or something, because what you don't want to do is, when you're hammering wires, you don't really want to, if they cross over, you don't want to hammer that point there, because it will, it'll weaken them, so you could twist it. But when you've got it like this, and this gauge, and how, you know, they're twisted together, you don't have to worry about that, and you get some lovely effects by twisting the wire and really hammering it to flatten it out. That gives you a really nice effect as well. So I've got my 4 lengths of the 0.8, so I'm just going to trim those off. So I want that to be, again, that's going to probably be about the 8 inches or so.
And you could make it longer, couldn't you, if you wanted to?
In the same way that we did, you know, on the last demonstration, you know, see what fits you, have a play about with, you know, and see what measurements suit you better. So I've got those. So I've got my two twisted wires. So now for the inner bits of the bangle, what I want are the 0.8 just on their own. So I'm going to cut 4 lengths again, probably about the 8 inches or so of just the 0.8, and you can see it, so I'm just smoothing out any kinks, and I'm going to trim that off there.
25 of you have it in your baskets now. It is going to be an on-screen sellout, just so you know, as she grabs a slurp of tea.
I'll try not to elbow you now then. I have to stand back.
Yeah, because then I'd splash all the jewellery.
So I've got those 5 sections there, so you can already see, if I start laying it out, and then you'll be able to see how it's going to build up. So I've got my 5 sections there, and I have the two twisted ones. So I've got quite a lot of gauges of wire there. I know I've got real stability there, and I know that I've got the stability and the durability, so now I can concentrate on the aesthetics and to make it look nice.
Look at that, they're just so
Those hearts are gorgeous, aren't they?
Oh, they really are, and they work so well within this kit. And you've included it with other gemstones that are just they're complementary, aren't they?
They're fantastic.
I love puffy hearts, and they always sell out on Jewellery Maker, don't they? So love that you've got them in hematite too. Love that. So
and now I'm now going to use my 0.4, which is ideal as you know, if you work in wire and do any weaving. Perfect gauge for all sorts.
Is that probably the most used for wire weaving?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's really good to. It's what I sort of learnt to wire weave, and I use that. And I think once you get the hang of that, you can then either move down a gauge to the 0.25, which is a lot finer, and you'll get a lot more kinks in it, but you get really beautiful effects. Or then you can move up a gauge if your hands can take it with the 0.6, and again you get very, very different look, but if you're just starting, try the 0.4.
So it's quite malleable, it's quite flexible. Yeah,
absolutely. So what I've got with the 0.4, so I've taken, and again I would start with about 3 feet, so almost like a span width of. I mean, it depends how long your arms are, but. If you feel comfortable with that, because you can add in, you know, there's enough of a weave, and with the twisted wire, that if you have to start a new bit of wire, but ideally you want to do the whole bangle in one go. So all I've done, I've just crossed them over, so you can see. So I've got a little loop like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my centre wire. So if I pick that one up. And I'm just gonna, I say that all the time, I need to stop doing that as well. I'm going to put that centre wire, so the loop is at the bottom, if you can see, so if you can see there, and I'm just gonna thread it insert that there, but I want those two coming at the bottom, and just pull that like that.
So you're tightening that?
Yeah, okay. So that's quite nice and tight there. Now what I want to do, I'm going to pick up the wires just a couple at a time, so they're spaced out, so I know where they're going to go. So if I take these first two and just lay those above on sort of my finger there. So I want to leave myself probably a couple of inches here to however I decide. You know, in the last demonstration I might want to do that sort of effect of twisting out, or as I'll show you later, I'm just going to do a loop with one bit. So I've left this section here, so I know I've got a little bit to play with, because what you don't want to do, you don't want to start your weave here and then you've only left yourself, you've done all this beautiful work all the length, and you haven't left yourself enough here. So if I just start there. Now, before I do anything, what I need to know, I need to think about how this is all going to sit nice and flatly against my wrist. So what I don't want to do, I don't want to start wrapping anything until I know that it's the right distance away from that centre wire, because this centre wire, this is what's going to take my the little hearts, the little gemstones. So all I'm going to do is test on, I've got the shakes a bit, I'm just going to put one so that I know the right distance to wrap those. So if I hold it up, if I just pop it down like that then. So you can see there. What I don't want to do, I don't want to do my first wrap and have those two wires sitting behind there. Yeah. I want it to sit nicely so that I get to see, really make the most of that beautiful, you know, the shape of the gemstone. So I'm going to do my first one. So I've got my weaving wire on the right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take, and with this one, just do everything in threes. So we did everything in twos last time. I'm going to do everything in threes on this one. So I'm making sure that these two wires aren't sat on top of each other. They're sitting flatly, and I'm doing that by putting all the pressure with this thumb here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and I'm pushing them down all really nicely. And again, so I know that's the right distance for that gem's going to sit nicely in between there. Now what I need to do, I want to bring in the structural part of it, because if I just left it like that, it would look really pretty, really nice, but I wouldn't be able to wear it, it wouldn't be very practical. So this is my structural part. So I'm just going to lay that there. And again, how we said, it's everything in threes. So I'm going to take that and round all of the wires. So I've got my structural part here and my 2 there. And again, 3 wraps. So nice and neat and tight, the first 3 that we did. Bring 3 down. So there's 2 and 3. Now if I just left it like that, it would probably slide about a bit, but this is where you really make the most of that twisted wire, because although it looks lovely, it also is really useful because it holds your wire in the place that you want it to. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come round at the top, if you have a look there, and I'm going to bring it up in between the twisted wire and those 2. But if I just pull like that, that keeps that, it's locked against one of the twists in that outer section, and it holds it nice and still. So in the same way that when we did the other demonstration, if we think about it in like break it down, little blocks.
Bite-sized chunks.
Yeah. So if we're just going to take each section. So we've done that first one, so we did the 2 on the outer, the two inner ones here, and we did 3 wraps. We then took it out to this twisted section, and again 3 wraps, and then brought that weaving wire in between the two sections, so the 2 here and this twisted one. So all you do is repeat what you've done. So I start with the 2 on the other side, just the plain wires, so they're not the twisted ones yet, and gauge where I want those to be around that gemstone. So obviously if you're doing a different design, you could do, what would look lovely is, with the you could do a variety with the chips and nuggets. You might have to play about with that gauge of wire, but that would look really lovely.
Absolutely, you're not restricted to the gemstones at all. No. That's for your choice. But going back to what we were saying earlier about using the actual clamp, you could, choose. You can actually clamp this onto the desk.
Yes. Yeah.
Protect it maybe with a bit of leather. That was a great suggestion from one of our jewellery makers. So again, you can sort of weave, and you've got both hands. Then that was when we demonstrated it, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We
Very
did.
well.
We did. Now, I've also got, whilst you're doing your weaving, and it's already been spotted by some of our viewers, that's why we're bringing it to you now, solid 925 sterling silver. Might I just draw your attention to these 2 beautiful bracelets that Claire's created. Now, you might think, there's a new finding. There's a new cuff. Well, you'll be forgiven for thinking that, because we haven't brought you this piece, and it is solid 925 sterling silver, since December. It's actually a ring finding, which Claire has geniusly turned into a feature of your cuff. Now, let me show you on the finger first. So you can use it as your ring, obviously. You can use it as Claire has done within this kit. So you have got your jump rings here. How many jump rings should I count them? It doesn't really matter, does it, I suppose? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. I think there's 8 there. My eyesight's not from this distance, so I'm not right up close, but I think there's 8 different findings. But take it off. Beautiful texture, don't you think? And a lot of 925 sterling silver, obviously, with, if I can find it, your hallmark. I spotted it earlier on. 1 second. There we go. There it is. So with your 925 sterling silver stamp. Now, when this was on your screens in October and in December, it sold out entirely, straight away. We have bought more, but they are not going to hang around. Now, the price hasn't increased due to popularity. No, we're on the same price point, $12.95.
That's brilliant.
I mean, you've turned. It is really good. I mean, it's solid 925 sterling silver. It's not copper with the sterling silver overlay. And you've made this a focus piece of a bracelet, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, what I'll try and do at the end of this demo is show you how I did that. if you'd like me to, because it's
20
very, very simple.
straight away sold.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, because the amount, like you say, the amount of silver that you get there.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful ring, but if that's not your style, you know, it makes a fantastic a bracelet, because you've got that. Yeah.
You could commission, sorry to interrupt you, darling, but you could commission a matching bracelet and ring, couldn't
yes,
you?
Yeah,
so
that'd be lovely set.
It would, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So, Claire's commissioned this bracelet, your morganite, your Beryl bracelet here, which is beautiful. You could then just add, there's nothing stopping you adding more Beryls to the jump rings just here, and you've got a ready-made suite.
Absolutely. Shall I show you now quickly with that?
Yeah, because how have you actually created that?
So what you would do, if you've got any of your nylon jaw pliers, so you just slowly, again, take it nice and slowly. I mean, I started with if you've got the curved ones, brilliant. So just start and just get it into, you want to open that shape up, and you want to keep a nice curve to it. So you don't want to, you know, if you've got just the straight ones, if we do it with that, just nice slow movement, so that you're keeping that curve. You're not getting any sharp angles, because you want it to sit nicely. You can see I'm just manipulating that metal just really slowly, little bits of pressure to get it.
It's key for me to mention this is a handful of collectors. Already 50 have gone of these, and most of you are actually choosing to multi-buy. For example, it won't show Tyne & Wear's multi-bought, Jane and County Durham, Barbara's multi-bought, Northumberland's multi-bought, Pauline's multi-bought. We've had a message in from Dee. Happy days, I have waited months for this to be on again. Quality item. It is.
Absolutely,
so there we go. Customer who's actually bought this previously, I assume, by December the 16th was when you last bought it. So you've literally just sort of formed so that is going to sit wonderfully on the wrist line, isn't it?
Absolutely, because I mean the shape, you know, the work that's gone into it already with those tapered edges,
the texture,
it means it's a perfect shape for sitting there. I mean, that looks lovely, doesn't it? Like that.
It really does.
With some chain,
There's a matching piece of two pieces straight away.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Could you connect them together, maybe?
You could do, yeah. You could have different links. So all I've done, I've just used, you know, one of the, if you've got like a little pin, if you've got a Dremel, wonderful. But I just use, you know, you can get these from any DIY.
Could you make a pendant out of it?
You could. I mean, you could do anything with it. Once what you've got there is a huge bit of silver.
A big lump of silver, absolutely.
You can do lots with it. I mean, you could, you know, if you get a feel for how that metal is, because it's a substantial piece, is, you know, curl it a little bit, so you've got, you know, if you're going to do a pendant, you know, curl it over.
25, how many have you got available of these, Phil? Okay, we've had the biggest quantity that we've ever had here at Jewellery Maker, and they sold out before. This afternoon we started with 150. Already 50% of the stock has gone, and I've got another at least 25 of you with it in your basket. And by the way, 50% of the quantity here on Jewellery Maker, when people buy 2s, 3s, 4s, 2s, 3s, multiple, most of you are choosing to buy more than one, in actual fact, is not going to hang around. So I'd actually assume for it to be a sellout. So again, this is one of those pieces that you want to get, isn't it? But
absolutely.
You can't, because you're in the studio.
Yeah, well, very much so, yeah. But I would imagine, you know, if you do craft fairs or you sell your jewellery, and you want to have more time to do, you know, your really creative pieces, and you just buy this, you're going to sell it, aren't you, for more than that price?
For the amount of sterling silver.
And all I've done, I mean, you don't have to put that. That's a nice detail, a nice design. Just having those little jump rings, you get that movement, and that would be something you would play with all the time, wouldn't it? But if you want to add something, all that's doing is a very, very simple wrapped loop. So, you know, again, don't be put off if you're just starting making jewellery. You know, these would be wonderful to get, because you can still say, I've made it, because you've still.
Could you quickly attach a gemstone to one?
Yes, yeah, sure.
Let's do that, just so. For anybody, that 100 of these have gone now already, so 25 in a basket, that means I've got 25 opportunities remaining this afternoon. Just in case, if anyone is watching going, oh, I like that idea, how do you attach the gemstones to it? Just because I know it's a very simple technique for you, but it might not be for everybody, and it's not for me.
That's no problem.
It's not simple. Now, I'll leave that there.
So all I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of my ball head pins. Yeah, and if I use one of the hearts, because that would go nicely with the silver. So that's gone on. And then if I take my round nose pliers, and again, so by gripping on at that point, you can see I've left myself a couple of millimetres so that the length of the tip of my pliers, I know that I've got enough room to make some really nice wraps on that loop. So if I bend back down, and this is a simple form of jewellery making, but I think it's details like this that will separate. How well you do these basic parts really separates your jewellery. You know, from people if it's a bit sort of sloppy and they're not really that bothered. It's these little details that I think really tell, and you can make features of these wrap loops. So
it's the same as anything, isn't it? You know, it's like if you're buying clothes, you can. Nothing annoys me more is, for example, I got a dress I was wearing the other night, and just a bit of thread, which is gradually working its way around the hem. It just annoys you.
Yeah.
So
well, it's the same. It's the same thing. Exactly the same thing. You're right with these. So if we take and we just, because you don't really want, you want to keep it, if it's going to be a ring or part of the, you know, a part of a bracelet, you don't really want to do your wrap loop here, then add a jump ring, and then onto that jump ring. So what you need to do is you need to almost omit that jump ring, and we want to get it straight onto this. So it's a little bit fiddlier than if we were just going to do a wrap loop and then add a jump ring, and then we could add it on. So we've got that section, so all I've done, I've just turned a loop, but not fully, and I'm going to put that tail through that
one of your jump rings.
So I've attached it there, so you can see it's attached on there. Now what I need to do, if I just let that fall, and then I'm going to grip across that loop that I've got, so you can see there, and then I'm going to take that tail. And with that little section that was hidden beneath my pliers, I'm just going to wind that, and I've got this lovely long tail here on this, on the head pin, all the way down.
Almost close to sell out now. How many have you got remaining? 20 remaining within the vault, and at least 20 of you within the basket. So good luck, good luck.
So you can see when I've wrapped that, I've wrapped, shall I hold it up like that? I've gone all the way down, and then I've gone all the way back up.
Ah, see, that's lovely.
See, how pretty is that? So you would just...
It's a new take on a charm bracelet, effectively, isn't it? I mean, you can create your own little charms. Jackie's messaging from London. Hi, Claire. Love your designs. Could you punch a hole in the ring to attach for a bangle once straightened?
Right. Well, if I just show you, you're exactly where my mind's at, Jackie, because that's exactly what I've done. So if you... you could, if you've got those hole punches, what I've done, use the drill, but you can, and it's very, very simple because it's quite a malleable metal, so you can see I've got that.
Sterling silver's quite soft.
Yes.
So
so it's not, you know, don't be scared of it. Don't think, well, I can't do that, because you don't need, like I said, I did mine with the little hand, the pin drill, so I haven't got a Dremel, so you can, you know, everybody can do this. So you can see I've got the one there. And that's when I started, so you can see it's just the just an indent in that one, if you can just see that. On those two, what I did,
just show you this on there, so you've done that twice.
I did that twice on there, because I think if you're going to put quite a chunky
amount of gemstones like this,
yeah, I mean, if was it Jackie had messaged in, if you're going to punch it through, you could probably just get away with, if you were really careful about where you punch that hole, because the hole is bigger than the drill that I've used, you could probably get away with just the one hole, and put several strands through that one hole.
Love that.
It's nice, isn't it?
Really love that.
And very, very, I mean, I'm showing all my tricks on it, because that, you know, it doesn't take very long when you've got that. All you're going to need is those gems, that big piece of silver, which, you know, with all respect, pretty much all the work has been done for you by the time you get it.
Matching ring.
A few head, you know, wrap loops.
It's. I think, has it sold out? Will do. But anyway, thank you for doing that, my darling.
Problem.
Let's continue with your demo.
Okay. Right. Where were we? So we're starting off with the weave. So
now let's bring your graphics back on for this kit, because again it is looking like it is going to be a sellout this afternoon. Just to recap just quickly, double strand of Labradorite, twice, so you actually get 2 double strands of your beryl, your hematite heart, which is what you're working with now, Claire. You get a double strand of peridot, 3 spools of wire in your 0.8, your 0.4 and your 0.25, and also those 2 beautiful sort of buckle cuff bracelets as well. So it's very, very gem heavy and also, well, materials heavy. So there's only a few single figure quantity left within the vault. Okay, going back to you, my darling.
So all I've done while we were chatting is I've replicated on that other side what we did here, and I'll do another full section, but I'll show you what the next move in the weaving is. So I've got my 2 weaving wires, so that they've come up in between my twisted and the 2 straight wires. So if I start on this side first, I'm just going to hold that one out of the way. So I'm going to bring this wire, so my 0.4, and I'm going in between those 2 ordinary wires, so these 2 here, and bring it at the back, and then you can see I'm just, again, all the time just teasing it round, and I want it to come back through, because I want it to wrap around this central wire. So I'm pushing that up, bring it all the way through, and I want a nice tight wrap around that central wire, and I want to bring it over so it's now on the left or on the other side. So there we go, and I'm going to do exactly the same with this one. So I'm bringing it down past all the wires on the side that it comes from, all the way down at the back, bring that loop through, keep it nice and tight to that wire that's there. Again, teasing it into the direction that I want it to be in, so that I've got nice smooth curves and no kinks in there. Push through and bring it all the way around, and then, as I do with all weaving, just get your nail or tools and just really push that down, so you've got a really nice tight little couple of loops at the top of that gem. So if we do all that again, so we're taking this weaving wire here, and first of all we're doing, remember, everything in 3s. So the first thing we want to wrap, we're not doing the twisted wire, we're coming across and we're going to do those 2 of the 0.8s. So bring it round, and everything in 3s. So pull, and sometimes I find what makes your weaving neater is if you do slightly exaggerated movements to get the wire to go in the direction.
That will keep the tension, won't it?
Yes.
If you actually use your whole arm, I suppose, and I suppose there's a certain amount of weight behind it as well. Same as with your weighted hammer, I suppose.
Yeah, you just get a neater.
That makes sense to me.
So I've done the three across here on these 2 wires, and I've come out at the back of my twisted wire. So bring that again. So you can see when I'm talking about exaggerated movements, I want this wire to go in this direction. So I'm just bringing it all the way over, and then drop it down to where I need it to go. And again, all the way over, drop it down where I want it to go. Push down so those 2 are nice and neat, all the way over, and drop it down. So I've got my 3 wraps around those 2, and my 3 wraps around all of the wires. And then to hold it in place, make the most, really utilise that twisted wire, and in between the twisted wire and the 2 plain ones. So you can see, and that locks that in place. So again, if we do it on this one, so I bring that 0.4 and wrap 3 times around those plain wires. So I've got 1 and 2, if I can get it through. And there's no worries if you just gently splay out. What you might find easier is if you splay out your wires at the end, because it all, once you start weaving, it locks, it'll come back into shape. As long as you haven't got a really sharp right angle, or you've kinked the wire in any way, but splay it out and it'll be a lot easier to wrap around. So we've got our 3 there, and again, so those are a little bit loose. I'm just going to squidge them together. Squidge all those so they're nicely and tightly packed together, and I'm going to go all the way across all 3 wires. So all 3 wires and wrap 3 times. So that, if I were looking at it, that would be my section. You know how I was saying about breaking it down into blocks?
Okay, so you've done this part here.
Yes. Yeah, so you can see there how it starts to...
One of your sections.
Yeah.
One of those little individual sections here. Amazing.
So there we go. So if I just show you on there, there's your one section, and that's how you can break it down. So you can see here on that side, I probably need to have spent a little bit more time pushing those wires.
Squidging.
Yeah, a bit more squidging time. Less chatting, more squidging.
Oh, well, we're a chatty bunch.
But what you can see, it will just, you know, you can go back and what you can't do with this one that you could do on the other one is because you've got this twisted wire, so you really need to be sure about where you're going to start, because you can't really move it up and down because you've got that twist, so you haven't got the flexibility. So have a little, you know, think about where you you know, your starting point, as we discussed about leaving yourself enough space. So again, I'm going to take a gem and put it in, and you will get different effects. So if I just show you here how you would get another variant on the design, I mean, I've put all my hearts in the same direction. What you could do, if you've got some, you could put a few chips in at this point.
Yeah, maybe your Beryl, or
and
alternate.
And put your heart that way. So if we try and see what that looks like, I mean, it might not work, but we'll have a little go. So again, what we would do, so we're going to bring, and we want to lock this gem in place. So if we bring that round, and the way we lock it in place, remember, is to coil around that center wire. So we bring it up here and all the way round. So bring it down, nice squidge, and out to the other side. And we'll do the same with this one. So we're going to bring it down, exaggerated movement, so get the wire the way we want it, and bring all the way
Is
through.
this one of your sort of signature designs then?
I do it quite a lot, yeah, because it just allows me that whatever gemstones you're using, like I say, I know that by this design I can make a functioning piece of jewellery that it shows off all the different things you can do with the wire. So you know how on the last kit I'd made quite a lot of, you know, this one here, so you can essentially, that's the same sort of technique.
Ah, yes, I see.
But you've just got you get different combinations of whatever different wires you put in. So although these are different gauges, you know, you're going to get different effects, but essentially it's the same principle.
Concept.
And so if you can see on there, all that top section, you just put a loop on that one, but you still wrap it in exactly the same way.
Amazing, and I love that bracelet, by the way. Now, pretty much every single piece that we're bringing this afternoon is selling out with your inspiration.
They're lovely pieces, though, aren't they?
Yeah, well, yeah, amazing kits and bundles. Now, I have got the most incredible Ethiopian opal strand coming your way, double strand. But before I do, now this is an essential tool for jewellery making, especially if you're going to go into your rings and wire wrapping specifically. You need to have this, don't you?
Absolutely. I can't say how it again is a tool that revolutionises your jewellery making. I used to, I mean, I've still got them. You know, you have different size mandrels, and about everybody does it. Nail varnishes, pens, everything. I think until you've got the proper ring mandrel, it will revolutionise your jewellery making.
Well, you know, and not only that, you can make pieces for your loved ones, or if you do go on sale. For example, you know, I know most people do know what ring size they are.
Yes.
I suppose so.
But you can be very definite, can't you?
You can be very specific, yeah. For if you do go to craft fairs or something like that. But yeah, you can measure it, and also it keeps the piece absolutely spherical, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's great for if you've we know when you've been doing wire wrapping, that can distort the shape a little bit, and when you've got that, you can just put it back on. So when you finish working with it, and sort of either squeeze it back into shape or you know, hammer it a little bit. I mean, it's brilliant.
It comes also in your little leatherette pouch, so you know it's going to stay nice. It's not going to scratch or damage at all. And you have, of course, got the different sizes and gauges on your mandrel there. This has always been one of our most popular products here, and like I said, it revolutionised. It's a good choice of words there. Revolutionising your jewellery. Love that. $8.95. An essential piece of your kit, and once you've got it, haven't you?
Yeah. And how, you know, if you do sell your jewellery and you go out and you know, doing commissions, you're going to look so professional, aren't you?
Yeah.
You've actually got, when you're getting that out rather than your, I don't know, your bingo marker pen or whatever it is that you used previously. You're going to look.
Do you know, I actually made a wire wrapped ring once, and if I can do it using a ring mandrel, if I can do it, anyone can.
Yeah.
Anyone can. I think it was Laura that actually, Laura Binding actually said, no, look, follow me, did it, and I was like, oh, okay. And it was using this, so if I can do it, then absolutely anyone can. And does come, like I said, in the little zip pouch here as well. So essential, yeah, you could very easily recommission pieces like what you're doing right now, couldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, and you know, how we've worked with that, that twisted wire, I mean, if I just show you, because I'll swap in a minute too. So if I just trim that off there, so if you're using the twisted wire, how quickly you've twisted all those the 0.8, I think it was, and you just, you know,
wrap it round.
I just wrap that round, take it off, and you're coming round at an angle.
Okay.
So just bring round like that. So I just pop that there, and maybe turn these a little bit.
You're going to do that sort of...
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think this is the kind of ring I did.
Yeah, so really simply, and obviously you would spend a bit longer, and then, you know, say how you did the, on the rings that we did before.
Thread on some jump rings?
Yeah, so you'd neaten off all those little edges that you've got there. You could put one of your little hearts, you know, a heart gem, and straight away, you know, spend a bit of time, but you've got yourself, I mean, how quick was that?
A matching ring for your bracelet, exactly. So an essential piece of kit for your collection. Now, it is time for your opal. I'm sure you've heard from my fellow presenters and hosts here that Ethiopian opal is no longer available. We can't go direct. Well, it is available, but we can't go direct to the mine to actually buy it anymore. What that actually means is the price point. Whenever a gemstone becomes elusive or virtually unobtainable, we always want what we can't get. So therefore, the price dramatically escalates. Now, what's the #1 valuing factor of opal? Opalescence, play of colour, you already know that. This is a gemstone which hasn't got a crystal structure, it doesn't form the same way that diamonds do, your rubies do, your sapphires do, your emeralds do, your garnet. It forms in a very unique way. It's the tiny, tiny silica spheres within this gemstone which bring you that wonderful opalescence or play of colour. Now look at this, just amazing.
Wow, that's gorgeous.
Now, what you're about to see in this strand is the silica spheres. Well, you won't be able to see the silica spheres, but this strand, I can tell you internally, instead of those silica spheres being all uniformed and in a line like so, ooh, almost knocked it over, in a uniformed and in a line like so, like soldiers, they are sporadically dotted around inside the gemstone. Now, when your silica spheres are sporadic, it means that the light can enter in and reflect similar kind of phenomena that you would get from your labradescence, but you want them to be sort of dotted around a little bit more haphazard, because then you get an incredible play of colour like this. I can't wait to bring it to you, because look at that.
That is fantastic.
Isn't it amazing? Now, I'm putting the black background behind so you can really see the amount of play of colour. Like I said, if I didn't, and again, you're still not seeing it to its full...
You don't know, do you? I think that's what you...
It's because we've got so many lights in the studio.
It is, and that's where it comes to a trust thing, really, doesn't it? That, you know, when you get that home, you will be, I think, bowled over with how beautiful it is.
I had a conversation, let me just pop it on the back, on the back of my hand. I had a conversation with one of our customers on our sister channel. We were over in Jaipur, and she said, do you know what, Elena? And we were stood by Ethiopian opal, one single parcel. If you go on my Facebook page, you'll already seen the only opal parcel parcel that we bought in Jaipur. And she said, Elena, I've never bought Ethiopian opal from your sister channel before. Why? Because it doesn't look as good as this. And that's, how many times have you heard your hosts or your presenters saying, the Studio Lights doesn't do opals any favours. Please, 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 you know, take our word for it. Because, and if you don't agree, then send it back to us. You've got 30 days. Look, they're so intense. You're seeing pinks in here as well. Can you see our pinks?
Greens, yeah, reds, yeah, beautiful colours.
Really amazing colours, and I adore with opal to actually have those organic sort of shapes that you get with your nuggets. I love that. Let's think, I think it was April actually, I had the huge honour and privilege of meeting Andrew Cody. Now, Andrew Cody is the president of Cody Opal in Australia. He's also he's just an absolute legend in the gemstone world, and he would probably be the go-to person if you could for opal globally. Had the privilege of meeting him, had a showcase with him on our US channel. Every single piece sold out, and the reason, and I know you might be thinking, Elena, Cody Opal, that's Australia, doesn't make any difference. He was talking about generally global opal and how they are all individual, how they speak to you, about how fascinating this gemstone. I hung on his every word, Claire. He was so amazing. And do you know, his entire career started when he was a little boy, and I love this sentiment. When he was a little boy, he was walking local to him, which is just outside of Adelaide. Coober PD mines aren't too far, they're in the sort of southern region, just outside of Adelaide, as a little boy, and saw an opal on the ground. And he said,
wow,
it was love at first sight. Straight away I knew I had this obsession with this gemstone, and now, like I say, he's the president of Cody Opals, so I love that. But every single piece that I brought sold out. This is a gemstone. This is a gemstone which, from this location in the world, is so difficult to get hold of. So please, please realise that whenever a gemstone is, and I'll give you another sort of, hopefully, a bit of useful information for you, but we'll bring the price on first. To get hold of Ethiopian opal is very, very, very difficult, and I'll tell you why. If you do your studies for the GIA, which I've done, when a gemstone can fall into two categories. It can be, and I spoke about it last night, I spoke about it yesterday rather, with your chrome dioxide. When a gemstone can be actually rare and apparently rare, and I'll tell you the difference, you can pretty much charge whatever you want for it. So any of Mother Nature's gemstones, actually what I'm talking about is natural, not laboratory created, is actually apparently rare. So, and you might be thinking, why are they apparently? They're all rare. Yeah, they are. I know it doesn't make complete sense, but so apparently rare gemstones, we're talking about Mother Nature's gemstones. When a gemstone then comes into the category of actually rare as well, then we're talking about rare within the trade, within the market. So can we get hold of it? Then you can command whatever price point. So Ethiopian opal is both of those. So it's very difficult to get hold of, especially at low affordable prices like this. Well done to all of our collectors and connoisseurs. I mean, I know you've seen opal here at Jewellery Maker before, but that much play of colour?
It is gorgeous. And you know, in that catalogue, I mean, it was a different type of cut of the opal, but that was just under £1,000 for the necklace.
Oh yes, that little
wasn't it? So
yeah.
I mean, that's
just under £1,000, and it was Ethiopian.
Yeah,
just under £1,000. Tracy in Lancashire, I have this strand, and it's amazing. The colours are unbelievable. Buy it, you won't be disappointed. Thank you for that, because it's all very well us saying it here at Jewellery Maker. You know, some people might think, well, you're paid to say that. Well, I don't say anything that I don't genuinely mean. So, and I can't. We would never lie on air, obviously. So, Tracy, for you to say that, coming from a customer who's experienced this strand in person like we are right now, then of course, that speaks volumes. So, well done to every single one of you. Incredible. Now, I've got 10 minutes left with you, my darling.
Okay.
So I need to stop talking.
Well, what I'll do, I'll show you. So hopefully you've seen enough of the how you would build up that by doing those sections of that weave of the three. So again, if we just work on, we do a couple of minutes now, and we work on, we've repeated those. But when you see how it's broken down, it's very easy, isn't it? It's not a difficult
Bite-sized chunks?
Yes, it looks, when you see it like that, it looks like it's quite complicated, but when we've broken it down into those little stages, you can see it's very, very simple. But what it does, by grouping it all together like that, it's giving you that that it looks beautiful, and that you can wear that piece and not be worried that, like you said, if you're banging around, or if you work in an office and I was about to say a typewriter. How old am I? But if you do a lot of typing, not on a typewriter,
a keyboard.
It's gonna bash about, isn't it? So because that's what you need to think when you're making jewellery, is what's it gonna, you want it to do its job as well as look nice.
You want it to have longevity. You want it to last. You're spending hours on a piece. Then obviously you want it to stay beautiful.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So another little tip, if you look from the back here, you can see, that weave looks slightly different. Now what those central points do when we were wrapping around that centre wire, so this one here, it's almost like, I've talked before about like creating like little hammocks for gemstones. So what you might need to do is, this one's done it already, look, you're moving that round, and although there's plenty, because those hearts are so great, so that drill hole is brilliant. I probably could have got at least a 1mm wire through there, rather than, I think these are 8, aren't they?
Yeah.
But say if they're twisting a little bit, so if we just move that one a little bit, so it's twisting a little bit, you can just move that 0.4, just go round and just squidge down, and it'll just create that little hammock to keep them all so that they're flat. But like I say, because if you've pushed down as you've been weaving, it would have given that little bit of support at the back there, so it's going to sit nicely anyway. So just when you're working, just bear in mind just little things like that, and little things like that will just help with the overall look of the jewellery. Because you might decide that you want that movement, you want to maybe create a wider bangle, so if you bent it out, so that you've got a bit of space in between. So if it was going to sit like that, so you create a bit more of a bangle, and you could have it as a feature that these move around. So just bearing in mind all of those little things. So I've got these little tails. So what I'm going to do, that's the back. So just show you places of where you can just snip off the little ends. So what I would do there, I'd snip off right in that central point, because I know it's not going to scratch on the inside. So all these are little points that.
See, that's a really good tip.
Yeah, just help.
It's not going to touch the skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just squeeze down. And that has sandwiched that little end in between that twisted wire. So again, we're utilising all the great things about that twisted wire. So not just that it looks great and it gives added sparkle to that wire, because you've got all those different angles. It allows you to grip that little end is going to stay in there now. So we do the other side. So just squidge that, all those three wraps down, squidge that in place. So again, if we do slightly different on the ends. So again, we want to get rid of all of this. We don't really want all these. We're going to keep these two, because we'll use something they're strong enough to be a functioning part, or to make a finding, if you like, out of. But these ones aren't really, and even if we hammered them, I don't think they'd be strong enough. So what we need to do, we need to find a neat way to get rid of those. So all we're going to do, we're going to bend. So that's the back. I've turned it. That's the front. So I've turned it over to the back, and I'm going to bring those back on themselves, so you can see there. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to just trim off, and I'm leaving a little bit. It's probably about 4 mil,
4 or 5 mil.
And I snip there. So I've started by bending. I've already started to create that little curve. You see there. So hopefully, if I get my round nose pliers, I'm just going to bend that in on itself. So again, I haven't got any of those sharp edges next to my skin. I've just created that little loop there. So straight away I've got rid of 2 of those wires. So again, I'm going to do the same on this side. Leave myself a few millimeters, and I've bent it over, so I know I've started my curve. Snip them off and bend them round. Again, paying real attention to where those sharp edges are, because I don't want those next to my skin. Tuck them in. And that's not going to go anywhere now. So I've just got that one left. Now what you could do here is you could you can create either you could bend it back in the same way and probably just loop it around that 0.4. But remember, you're putting remember when you're working that this one, this 0.8 is going to be a lot stronger than that 0.4. So normally you would wrap a lower gauge wire around a heavier gauge wire. So just bear that in mind. So if we just have a little go at that, so I'm just going to bring that round, and I can do that with my hands, and just bring that up and pull it through. So I'm just creating a little loop there. So that's going to tuck that out of the way. The other thing you could do with that is if you wanted to make a feature, you could do, you remember how when we attached the diamond?
Yes.
So you could do a wrap loop there and add a feature to it if you wanted to add a charm. That would just give you, that's an option there at that point. So you've now got rid of very neatly all those wires on the inside. So if I quickly do the same on this side, so if I get rid of all those, and then we can work with that twisted wire. And sometimes, depending on what length you've got, you don't need any findings, you don't need a clasp, you can just
actually have them to sort of lock into each other.
Yeah. So that's entire, you know, and the clasp can be however you decide. So if I just trim that down, so I would have tucked all those really nice and neatly away. But you can see there now, so all I'm left with, I've got rid of all those working wires and I've just got this lovely twisted wire. So on this side, what I'd probably do, I'm going to leave a couple of millimeters, again probably about 3 after the edge of that last weave, so I know it's not going to go anywhere. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to bend at a right angle coming up there, and I'm going to do the same on that side. So again, a little bit of a gap and bend it up. So it's now, you can see it's looking, so it's going up at an angle. What I want to do then, I want to create some loops. So I've just got my chain nose pliers and bring round, all the way around. And I would probably go a little bit further, if you can, than just the loop. So if that makes sense, so you can see I've gone all the way around there. Because what you need to make sure is when you trim this wire, because it's twisted, it will fray out a little bit. If I show you here. So what I want to know is that I've got to, once I trim that, I want to try and minimise the amount of tools that I put in it, because the more I mess about with that, the more it's going to fray apart, if that makes sense.
Yeah, separate.
So by going all the way around, hopefully I won't have to bend it very much more. So if I just cut that down, I'll just bring that down there and cut all those, so you can see I've got pretty much a full loop there. So then hopefully what I can do is not right at the end, I'm just going to bring it round. And you can see, however much you try, it will splay out a little bit. But the more you do that wrap loop all the way around, bring it all the way around, the minimum amount of tool use you'll have to have afterwards.
Look how perfectly neat that is, though, as well. Really finished it off, and you were saying about attention to detail. Really perfectly neat.
Shall I show you how what I was probably trying to explain that was as clear as mud? So if I just do it like that, if I just do it there, and I'm just bringing it down. I've not brought it all the way back round, and I trim off
so this
here.
is what would happen if you don't. If you don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I snip that there, you can see I've still got to bring it all the way around. So I'm trying, but what I've got there, you can see is that. Can you see it like all splays out, which is going to mean that you're going to, catch. Whereas that one is nice and neat.
Nice and neat.
Can you see the difference?
Yeah, massive difference. Top tip.
Thank you.
So make sure you turn it all the way around, almost 360 degrees.
Absolutely, yeah, I find that helps.
Top tip.
So now what we've got these lovely long tails on this side. So I would, whatever you're going to, if I just do it round, I mean it'd be wider than this, but so whatever you're going to use as your mandrel. So this is going to be a very, very tiny weeny bracelet.
Ah, for a little baby.
Yes, for a very small. I'll give it to Lola for one of her dolls. So there we go. So you've created your bangle shape. So now what you could do is if we've got these to play with, so if we bend them down, and again in the same way, so keep one, I'd maybe go with whichever one was longer. I mean, these are pretty equal at the moment, but so if we bring that across, so if you see like that, I'm just bringing it across, bending it in that direction, and I want to wrap there. So I'm going to pinch here, bring it up. So again, exaggerated movements really I find help when I'm working with wire, and I'm going to just bring it all the way around. And although, I mean, and again, this is up to you. I'm using my fingers. You know, you might need to use tools or feel more comfortable to use the tools. But again, consider where you're going to finish that wrap, because if it's on here,
yeah, it's going to catch.
Yeah. So if we trim that off, so I push it all the way round, so, and I'm going to trim that off there. And the other thing, you know, you can file it down a little bit if you find that sometimes just get a nail file on the end, but just squidge, get your chain nose pliers and just squidge that in nicely and neatly. So then what I can do now with that section is just create a loop, and again in the same way we did before,
all the way around,
and trim off, so that I can just squidge that in. And I mean, on that point, so what I would do there, I would put some little jump rings on here, and I'd try and get them to a point, so if you put one jump ring on either side and then a jump ring in the middle, that's created like a bit of a triangle, so a point there, and then you can just have your, you know, the S
loop, links. So you've attached your S link or a toggle clasp, whichever it might be.
Yeah, and you can
whichever you have basically within your stash.
That's it. So you can play about if from the other kit. So that's just two of the S clasps there, but you can see how you would work that.
Amazing.
So there we go.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Isn't she? Incredible. Good luck to anybody wanting that kit. I don't know if there's any remaining. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Don't forget the sterling silver ring, though. We had 150 within stock. I'm pretty sure they would have sold out as well, but good luck. Anyway, time flies. We've got less than an hour before we have to be out of the studio, but don't go anywhere, because I have got your challenge, that wonderful Labradorite to bring you, a wonderful bundle including mookite and wire as well, which you'll adore. It's all coming your way after this.
Owning a strand of genuine gemstones is always exciting, but being able to use it in your handcrafted jewellery, then passing it on to its new owner with proof of its authenticity is even more incredible. Why not add one of our printed authenticity cards to your order for just 50p and share that same feeling with your customers? You can also access online authenticity certificates for items you have previously ordered by looking at your order history on your account details. The certificate gives you valuable information about your purchase and is your guarantee of quality and peace of mind from the Genuine Gemstone Company.
If for any reason you're not satisfied with your purchase, you have the benefit of our no quibble 30-day money-back guarantee. Just complete the returns form enclosed with your goods and send them back for a full refund.
Today I've been on Mark's Chips and Nuggets. It's been amazing. I've had a great day, I've got lots of nice things to take home, and it's not even over yet. And one thing that really impresses me is the value. I get a full set of gems, I get the wires. Mark's been really very, very helpful today. I don't have that much experience, and I'm going away feeling very, very confident to have a go.
When we were with you last year in China, you had some big sizes that were clean, but today all the big sizes look very included. Is that what's coming from the mine? More inclusions?
Yeah. Have more better quality. Also, this is not clean.
Yeah, that's right.
Clean material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Like this clean.
So clean to one size, then above that the sizes are getting more included.
Every size can get, but quantity depends on quantity.
It's a lot smaller today.
Yeah.
Yeah, a few years ago the quantity was great coming out the mine on the bigger sizes, but today the smaller sizes are nice, they're clean up to about ½ a carat, but beyond that they're quite included. So it's quite a good job. We did a lot of business a few years ago.
Yeah.
If you're new to Jewellery Maker, simply contact our call centre and we'll send you a tutorial DVD and Get Started booklet, all free of charge.
Labradorite is an incredibly popular gemstone here at Jewellery Maker. As a member of the feldspar family, this particular gemstone shows beautiful blue flashes as light hits the internal structure. The different layers that make up this structure give rise to really interesting colour play on the surface of the gemstone. The most usual colours we see are blue to violet, but you can also see flashes of orange and red. It's optical properties such as these that gives gemstones the edge, as these properties cannot be simulated by man.
Here at Jewellery Maker, we like to provide you with the best possible service. Our friendly and helpful call centre team are on hand 24 hours a day to assist you with your shopping or any other queries you may have. We also have a dedicated Facebook help team who are on hand 7 days a week between the hours of 7:30 AM and 10:30 PM. Jewellery Maker, making your experience the best it can be. Did you know that the Jewellery Maker phone number is free from a UK landline? Now you can spend those extra pennies on more shopping.
Welcome back, everybody. Lovely to have your company this afternoon. My name's Elena, if we've not met before. Nice to meet you. Hope you've had a lovely Sunday day so far. Right, I'm surrounded by genuine gemstones to a point. How many trays of gemstones have I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is this like a challenge else? See how many pieces I can actually bring. Okay, well I best get cracking, hadn't I? Now, I'm starting with a gemstone I haven't seen in ages, absolutely ages. I adore it because it's brand new. I adore it because it has got a very unique beauty. Now, this is brand new. It's never been on your screens previously before. It's got those. It's a sort of combination between. I'll get my words out in a minute. Your morganite and maybe your smoky quartz, because you have got, not in terms of how it actually forms, this is Sunstone. Sunstone has got tiny microscopic inclusions similar to that of your Labradorite, similar to that of your moonstone, which traps and plays with the light and brings you an incredible phenomena effect across the surface of the gem. That phenomena effect is sort of a glitter, which is like when it's actually classed as a venturescence. For example, let's just show you a couple of these individual gems. Can you see really up close, almost like sunstones have trapped a golden glitter within the gem? It's going to be even more apparent and you take it out into natural daylight. In fact, sunstone really comes into its own in natural daylight. Now, brand new strand, never been on your screens before. Let me just tell you how many pendants you've got on this, because they're top drilled. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 individual pendants. Do you love Sunstone, don't you?
I do. It's I've said it before about it. I think it's, if you've never bought any, I can't tell, I can't recommend it enough.
It's hard to describe, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's in a way a similar way to like Labradorite, that there's so much going on in each gem that those like speckles of, well, it is like sun, isn't it? It's like a light glinting out at you.
Yeah. Exactly right, and the fact that with Sunstone it is those sort of natural organic sort of tones, similar to sort of your browns, your earthy tones, it is very complementary. Now these are huge individual solitaires, and great choice of words there, Claire. Yeah, it's difficult to say, to describe what is going on within a Sunstone, because there is so much. I mean, look at the differences between each of them as well. For example, that one in the centre of your screen, you can see is almost entirely it's still an opaque gemstone, but you can see there's no markings within, whereas the one which is pointing upwards, for example, you have got characteristics within there. They'll all be as individual as you and I. So love, love, love this strand. Love this gemstone for the fact that it has got that sort of Mother Nature earthy appeal with that added sparkle, that wonderful adventure essence, a striking phenomena. And £10 only. £10 only for all of these pendants, top drilled pendants. Would you say they're, or rather pairs? Were you thinking straight away pendants?
Yeah, because like you say, you just do a little wrap, wouldn't you, at the top? And you know, again, don't be worried about. It's a really on-trend thing at the moment to have that wrap and to have it as messy, deliberately messy. Because sometimes, like if you're going to do like a briolette wrap, you can get a bit too precious about it, but you get wonderful effects if you just overlap the wires, and that would work beautifully with those.
Really would.
I mean, petals as well, because I do a lot of flowers. I mean, that you know, they'd be great for that.
That would be nice. Look, I mean, look at the warmth within Sunstone. You get, this is like a sort of a pinkish tone, then you have got sort of peachy oranges here. You're looking at 250 carats, brand new strand, and obviously I'm not showing you every single one because some are of, like for example here, can you see that's almost got a maze within, totally and utterly natural. Can you see that? Almost actually got a maze forming, and this one here. Love this. Margaret's message. Afternoon JM, I always think Sunstone is a little like bags of gold dust.
That's a wonderful analogy. Yeah, it's exactly like that.
It is. Oh, Margaret, that's a wonderful choice of words. I agree. They are like little bags of gold, because they glisten, don't they, and sparkle. And it's difficult. Claire's quite right. It's very difficult to describe this gemstone if you haven't actually seen it, especially of this quality. But the first thing you simply must do if you're experiencing it for the first time is take it out into natural sunlight. I know today is not the best example. It was chucking it down when I came into the studios this morning, but 3 o'clock apparently is getting a bit sunnier. Okay, amazing. So whatever, natural daylight, you'll see with Sunstone, it's almost like it's got glitter within.
Yes, yeah, and really fine.
Very fine speckles. Just so beautiful. I mean, you can Sunstone team up with morganite, team up with pearls. It is one of those gems which is going to be very harmonious and complementary of various different things within your stash. It's a brand new opportunity, never been on your screens. I'll leave that with you. Got to move on for £10 only. Now, amazing. I'm excited to bring you this strand because it's been catching my eye throughout the entirety of the show. Now, you're not just getting the gemstones, you're also getting a gauge, 0.25 gauge of your copper coloured wire. We're talking about an allochromatic gemstone that peridot is. The presence of iron within this gem determines that wonderful chartreuse green, totally and utterly natural. So incredibly intense. Wow, really? Are you serious? Only 25 though, so first come, first serve. Phil has just told me where he's taking this to today. Have you ever looked for peridot on other jewellery sites? Have you ever? This is a gemstone which can and does, by the way, for the extra fine grade, which is sort of your equivalent to your quad A tanzanite, can fetch in excess of and that's dollars. Let me try in excess of £100 per carat. For extra fine grade, it can reach £100 per carat easily for one individual gemstone. There's only 25 of these available within the vault, or rather there were. Gwyneth, Elena, John, Victoria, Pam, multi-bang, not surprised. I've got Essex, well done to you. Who was that then? Carol in Oxfordshire, well done to you. Sue's there, Jacqueline's there, Devon's there. Half the stock is already gone. There's only 25 opportunities, and of course don't forget you get 0.25 mil copper colour. I like that. This is a combination of colours I wouldn't straight away think about, but it works, doesn't it?
It would work. You know, the last demonstration that I did, I mean you could do either, but different weaves, but with that bangle, those two colours would work beautifully.
They would, wouldn't they?
Yeah, on the silver, so if you've got the silver wire.
So you have like a three-tone almost, the greens, the silver and the...
Yeah, that would be lovely.
It really would. I just think with peridot, it's the gemstone of summer. It's so vivacious. Right, I've got to move on. It's gone, 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 gone. Okay. 18 to my left, on the table. Phil, you're going to have me doing a workout today, aren't you? Hang on a minute, one sec. Phil, it. I was going to say, this is 18. Are you sure? Ametrine. Really? Bicolour gemstone, whenever a gemstone offers two different colours, so your sunshine yellows and your velvety purples, totally and utterly natural. There is no way of replicating ametrine. I tell you why that is, because you can take an amethyst gemstone, you can heat it and it'll turn into a citrine. But you can't take an amethyst, heat it and turn it into an ametrine. The heat transfers too quickly through the gemstone. It is actually impossible. Believe me, there have been laboratories trying and trying and trying. I think it was actually Russia they were trying to do it, but can't be achieved. It transfers too quickly through the gem. To get a double strand, and this is a double strand of ametrine. Ametrine is no longer similar to that of your well, in fact exactly the same as your Ethiopian opal that I brought you earlier on. It fits into those two categories. It's not just apparently rare, it's actually rare. And the fact that the Bolivia government has ceased exportations from just one mine in the world, that is all there is. Not just one location, one mine in the world. Do you know ametrine was the first gemstone I bought myself when I came to work here?
Was it? So you got like sentimental attachment to it, or did it just sort of jump out?
Not in the least. Not in the least. And it's not even that I'd not seen it before. I just couldn't believe that it was so affordable. Because I know the price of Anahi ametrine, how much it can be. Or ametrine is a gemstone. I know how expensive it can be. Two strands that you're getting here, totally and utterly natural. So 100 carats. Now, if you were to ask my boss, ask the CEO of the company, he actually says that he believes, and we can't read into the future obviously, so don't take this as gospel, but we think there's every potential that ametrine as a gemstone can follows the pathway that tanzanite has done. Every possibility that this gemstone will reach some of the highest price points in the industry. It's a bicolour gemstone, it's totally and utterly natural. You know that the world's supply is extremely scarce. So yeah, I mean, like I said, we're not predicting the future, but it's a fair assumption. Hello to you, Danielle, Jessica, hello to you, Shaza, Elena, Pam, Lynette, Carol, Samantha, Deborah, Sue, Lincolnshire, hello to you, Nyla, hello to you, Isabel, Emma in Cornwall, West Sussex, Judith in Gloucestershire's getting involved. 2 strands, you're getting both strands. 15 of you have got this in the basket. I'm hoping there's plentiful quantity. 30. They are going to sell out. They will sell out. So do make sure you check out if you're with me on the web. Good luck. For example, Sue's just bought 2. Oh, I almost went 2 just bought Sue. Sue just bought 2. Well done. Surrey's just bought 2 as well. Congratulations. Tripping up on my words, I am. Well done. Okay. Same box. Sorry, that was just rather peculiar. Dendrite and pink opal and Australia. Oh, I love this combination. This with the Sunstone earlier. All 3 strands. Totally and utterly natural. Pink opal. Do you know I launched pink opal on our USA channel? Sold out every single piece. Haven't had it since. You've got Peruvian opal here. Peruvian opal in the centre, then you have got your Australian opal and your beautiful dendrite. What a combination these colours are, aren't they? Love that. I love the textures you're also seeing here. So if you saw the Sunstone earlier on, this look incredible. Well, to be fair, any of the kits that you've also seen today, any of the kits, they'd go amazing with any of those pieces. All 3 strands should be $12.85. Really? £12.85? Less than £4 per strand? Oh, that pun is just appalling. What pun? What did I say? Hopes and dreams. Yeah, who called it that? Scott, was it you, Phil? Phil, you got to own that. It was you, wasn't it? Yeah. Hopes and dreams. Ah, dear me. Good job. Good job. It's a good bundle then. You're making up for it there. £7.95. Pam, Anne Marie, Rachel, Shazza, Geraldine, Elaine, Dean, Helen, Isabel. There's only how many of these available? 30 remaining now. 30. So good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Grab it whilst you can. Okay, this better be a better one, as in the name. You promise it is? Oh, I love pre-night. I just think it's spring, spring in a gemstone. So this would look fantastic with that peridot. Now you're looking at bicones. Bicones. So how often do you see bicones? Very rarely. Bicones and also a double strand of your pre-night nuggets. So 3 strands effectively of your gemstone, totally and utterly natural. Pre-night brings you those wonderful sort of spring-like greens. Loving the bicones. Is that a shape of gemstone that you always like?
Yeah, because you get a lot of movement, and it's an interesting, isn't it? It's a slightly unusual shape of gemstone, and you get a lot of the surface area of the gemstone as well. So yeah,
and you know, I guess because it is. I'm trying to think of the word, the actual best terminology, because you have got the same shape effectively. It's like working with rounds rather than maybe your pairs. Is it easier to sort of wire work, maybe with cuffs and things like that? Do you know what I'm talking about? I'm not wording it very well, am I? But so, for example, you just used hearts. Would a bicone naturally be easier to work with?
Yes, because you've got that sort of a flatter edge, haven't you? To you know, when we were squidging down with the wire. So you've got that flatter edge.
Yes.
They would work beautifully again. And see, that's why that design, when I say it's versatile, I mean, they would be stunning in there, wouldn't they?
Yeah, really would be. Okay. You're looking at 330 carats. Three strands are set effectively, because this is your pre-night nuggets as a double. £7.95. I mean, I know that I say it every time I come back to Jewellery Maker, but our gemstones and our products, they are getting better, right? They are most definitely getting better, and certainly even more affordable. But then, if I can explain how that is happening, it's because we're a bigger company. We are, we are a bigger company. Jewellery Maker is so established in the gemstone world, and obviously the jewellery making world. Our buying power has hugely increased, shot up. We can buy bigger quantities right now. So then, effectively, we can negotiate amazing deals for you. So well done to every single one of you. £7.95 for 2 strands of pre-night. Okay. Box for on the table. Oh. Claire, I know you're busy. How much was that coral necklace that we saw?
Wow, there was, with some beady beads, it was £125, wasn't it?
£125, yeah, with beady beads.
And then I think, was there just a very, there was nothing, no ornate, so it wasn't, and it was just a stretchy
simple strand.
braid. Yeah, it was, I think it was about £25, wasn't it?
Natural coral.
Yeah.
2 strands. £7.95. It was literally one of these restranded, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was either £20 or £25.
And the CD bead one was
125.
125.
Yeah.
£7.95. So you could recommission this, and you've already made with just one of those strands at least £15 profit. And I actually think you could probably brand new strands, natural coral, totally natural. And by the way, that was dyed coral, I think. What we were talking about, it was that this is totally and utterly natural. So it was dyed sort of a pillar box, a fire engine red. Love that. I love coral though as well. It's great for. I just think of it. It's sort of your summer holiday gemstone.
Yeah, and I think you would. You know, the colour, whether it's coral or not. I mean, you would use that at that price. You could get that for your stash, even if you were thinking, well, I'm not really sure what I would use that with, and it will go with pretty much every gem that you've got. Because they're great shape and size, and you know it's like, you know, that whitey cream goes with everything. It does, doesn't it? You can put it with clear quartz, you can put it with your pearls, whichever. And by the way, it's key to mention, just in case you are wondering, all of our coral is ethically sourced, as with every single gemstone we bring you here at Jewellery Maker. So yeah, you do need to make sure, if you have got a conscience, and hopefully we all do, in the gemstone world, you do need to recognise where you're buying coral from, because in actual fact, unfortunately, it can be actually mined, well, not mined, literally destroyed. So we source our coral absolutely ethically. Well done to you, June, Elena, Devon, Janice, Nicolette, Angela, new buyers, you're all there as well. $7.95 brand new strand, well, rather 2 new strands that you're getting here. $7.95. Got to move on. Well done. Is it time for that? Oh. Do you know, I tell you one of the things I meant to do, and perhaps someone could literally run my bag in and I'll show you. I meant to, as soon as Phil showed me this strand, I was like, I'm going to show everybody at home something straight from Jaipur, and it was, it was my, Phil, it was my attempt at gemstone cutting. And the reason why I wanted, thanks Phil, I wanted to show you something is so we can really appreciate the skill and quality of this cutting. Here, honey, all I need to do is grab that. Thanks. Quickly, yeah, thanks babe, that's it. There we go. I wanted to show you, I totally forgot, didn't I, yesterday. Now, before I show you the strand, this was my attempt at faceting a gemstone. Has Zena shown you hers? Yes, there will be lots of laughing, I can guarantee you that. But can I just say, Zena, mine was marginally better than Zena's, but Steve was like, try and actually keep some of the gemstones, Zena, because she went entirely through. But I just want to show you, I was quite impressed with myself. It's not terrible, is it? That's pretty good. I mean, not knowing, I've never done it, but it looks pretty good.
I see, it's not too bad. Okay, obviously we didn't facet the crown facets or anything like that. Oops. Anyway, no value whatsoever. Now, well, I tell you what, it is bad, and I'll show you. I'll show you when it is really, really bad. When you look at quality faceted gemstones, like this. This is breathtaking. Oh. Concave faceted, pear cut. This is quality faceting, and that's okay. I accept it. I don't mind you saying I agree, Elle. I agree. This is way better. Well, of course it is. Concave faceting is very difficult to actually. Aren't these beautiful, Claire? I can see you smiling.
No, I've worked with that strand, and it's one of my favourites. I mean, they're just beautiful. They're so gorgeous. I mean, look at that recording there. They're wonderful.
So amazing. And do you know the key thing that I need to point out is that these are totally and utterly natural. Quartz as a material is abundant. It makes up about 40% of the Earth's crust. So it's abundant. However, quartz as a gemstone, such as these, is only sourced in a few different locations around the world. So there is a big difference between quartz as a mineral, which, you know, you can find sort of paperweights, which looks a little bit like sort of ice, compact ice with a bit of grit and everything. You know, in the winter when it sort of compresses against the road, a little bit mucky. You wouldn't want to facet it, and you wouldn't want to, certainly wouldn't want to include it in jewellery. But gem quality quartz like this, that is rare. Now, you have got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 individual pendants, solitaires. It's beautiful, don't you think, Claire?
Yeah, and because it's graduated as well, so you can do all of that. You can make beautiful suites of jewellery with it. I love that strand.
I agree, totally agree. Like I said, I know it's a common misconception that people think quartz it's abundant. It's not. Not of this quality. With I mean, it's absolute clarity. Look at that. It's almost SI clarity. SI clarity. I mean, can you see? Well, let's go. Let's scan our eyes all the way across every single one of those solitaires. Look at me leaning forward so I can really get up close as well. See if you can find a single flaw. No? Okay, let's try these over here. A single flaw, a single imperfect. Can you? I can't. That's the difference. That is the difference. Now, bear with. You're breaking in and out, guys. So let me just 1 sec. I didn't hear that price then, Phil. So, are you serious? £25 this strand. Oh,
see, even if you don't do wire work, you can just get some really nice spacer beads and just, string it on there. I mean, look how lovely that's beautiful, isn't it?
How about this with the white pearls I had earlier?
They would be very special.
Just one of those. I mean, how bright. Yeah, exactly. Just restrand it.
Yeah.
You don't have to overcome. Look from there. Do you know what's really on trend at the moment? And I'm not a dedicated follower of fashion, I'm too old to do that, but these sort of headdress pieces, now you're seeing a lot of this sort of
a pair there. Yeah.
I'm just thinking maybe not the big one, because that might be too, but just one of those. I'll hold it just for demonstrational purposes. But
you look like a princess straight away. Oh, that's lovely.
It is, isn't it? Really pretty. Love that. I'll get it down so you don't have to zoom in on my head. Yes, my director said, I'd never do that to you, Al, thanks. Nobody needs to see that close. 95 carats, totally and utterly natural, brand new. Oh, they're just so eye clean. It's like ice, if you like. It's that perfect. But in fact, even ice doesn't form with that amazing clarity, does it? Absolute clarity. And concave faceted. Amazing. Got to move on. Well done. Well done. Is it time for that ruby? Oh, okay. Big five, we all know what the big five is, don't we? Your diamonds, your sapphires, your emeralds, your rubies, and of course your tanzanite. But 19 million. There's a figure. Have you got 19 million you can invest? No, me neither. I haven't. If you have, fantastic, amazing. Maybe we can you can buy yourself a ruby. Because that is the new record that ruby actually holds for the most expensive colour gemstone sold. Literally, ruby has just, only about a month or so ago, sold for £19 million. Pure pigeon blood from Burmese ruby. So okay, I'm not saying that you're about to get exactly the same quality, but if we were, then obviously you'd have 19 million on your screens right now. But I'm bringing you natural ruby, totally unenhanced, not Fisher filled like 95% of the most is, but more to the point, 185 carats. It's a 90 centimetre strand. How many do we have of these, Phil? Have I got quantity? Okay, I've got a big quantity of natural ruby. Now this is the difference. You can go into any jeweler and buy a ruby. You can buy ruby, which is, and they probably won't even mention it, that it's fissure filled. The cracks and crevices that naturally form within this gemstone, fissure filled with a glass-like resin, which helps with the colour, helps with the transparency. This needed none of that. I mean, you've already got that primary red, and 90 centimetres of it as well. I mean, what is it like to work with this gemstone? How special do you feel working with genuine ruby? How many necklaces could you commission out of a 90 centimetre strand? Yeah, so you can you imagine 185 carats of ruby in one necklace?
I think if it's I think I've worked with that strand, and you feel very it's very decadent, isn't it?
Yeah,
you do feel very special.
Well, do you know, even on our sister channel, we've got I don't even know if it's natural, but we have got ruby necklaces with got a slight graduation similar to this, I suppose. Sterling silver clasp, and there's no way. In fact, it's half that carat weight. Half that carat weight. Yeah, I think the last one I did was about 90 carats. How much are they to buy? I can't really remember, because like I said, this was a while ago. I can't remember how much they are to buy. Phil's asking me the question. I don't know, to be truthful, and to be honest, I don't even know if they're natural, so it's hard for me to say. But look at the quality of your ruby here, and 185 carats. I'd be inclined maybe to just put a small section on a sterling silver chain, good to go.
I think I put when I worked with it, I put them with pearls and just alternated a few.
Wow.
Yeah, to me, if I would see, when I look at a strand like that, and I think about pearls as well, and I think about designer Jan, and she sells a lot of her jewellery, and just puts her precious gems like that with pearls. And really, I mean, when you've got that many, you don't need to spread it out as much because you've got loads, haven't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they would go with everything.
And again, going back to what we were saying earlier, Claire, is that the world knows what a ruby looks like.
Yeah.
Ultimately, they see a red gemstone or they see a red piece of jewellery, they think ruby, don't they?
And they know straight away.
They know straight away. Okay, are you ready? £45 for 185 carats of one of the most expensive gemstones on the planet, and this is natural. And that makes a big difference. If you do commission pieces or if you do sell pieces, then please do make sure that did you just say 50 pence? 50 pence per centimetre. How many gems are on a centimetre? Oh gosh, it's hard because okay, you've got some which are slightly bigger than others, so let me just take a section here, maybe here, not at the end, here. On a centimetre there's about 4. That's now I am literally looking at, would you say that's a centimetre? About that? So you got 4 there. Maybe let's have a little look at the smaller pieces. So down here. So would you say that's about a centimetre? So there's about 6 there, and then in the centre there's probably, because they're obviously bigger, yeah, there's probably about 3. Would you agree? So yeah, about 360 rubies. 360 ruby, genuine rubies, natural rubies, not enhanced, not fissure filled. Oh, at 40, I understand. Listen, I understand £45 is a considered price. I totally get that. But bang for buck, my goodness, you are getting an awful lot for it, aren't you? Effectively, 2 ready-made necklaces, very gemstone heavy, decadent necklaces, or I don't know, about 20, 30.
Yeah, because that's very on trend, isn't it? Of just having a few on a head pin, or with a loop at the end to say 3, 4, 5
and chain.
Yeah.
Do you know where that comes from?
Where?
Well, I'm guessing I don't know for actual fact, but I'm guessing. Have you ever seen Sex and the City?
Yes, yeah.
Sex and the City with Carrie Bradshaw. She dates a Russian artist, I think, or pianist or something like that, and he gifts her diamond rondelles on a necklace.
Ah, is that
literally
where it's
just
from?
just a section? And when I watched it, I remember thinking, oh, jewellery makers must be thinking right now, I could do that easily. There's about an inch of rondelles. You could so easily replicate that design and say sort of, you know, as seen on Carrie Bradshaw. Wasn't ruby, it was diamonds. Still got one of the most valued. Amazing. It's time. Well done. Now, these are brand new. Have you clocked these yet, Claire?
I haven't, no. I missed something because it... Ooh.
They're amazing. How many are you getting now? You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 brand new hooks. Never been on your screens before, and you're going to love them. Ooh. Bit different. Bit different to the diamond class that I brought you earlier on. And you get 5 of these. So if you like your chunky jewellery, which I do, I like big statement jewellery, then you get 5 individual clasps with that wonderful, look at the texture on those as well. Can you see those little tiny little spheres? See that texture? Brand new, with your J hook. Big statement. You wouldn't have to have gem heavy pieces with these,
Not
either,
at all,
would you?
no. You could just, you know, with some of the big chunky chains that we do, you could use it with that, or if you've got that little, you know, you really utilise that little hole in the middle. You know, use it almost as a frame. You could put a gem in there, couldn't you? You could wire a gem in. You know, have that as the pendant and use the...
Well, yeah, I mean, with clasps like this, I mean, this is the focal point. It can be the focal point as well, can't you?
Yeah, so I would envisage doing probably an asymmetric necklace that, you know, you'd probably wear it, say, about here.
Yeah.
And, you know, really focus on it. And when you've got that much metal, you can do lots with it.
Absolutely you can. Brand new, Jewellery Maker's never been on your screens before, and you are getting 5, so at $12.95 for one of those. I mean, I don't know if you'd be able to get that elsewhere. Loving the colour. Let's turn it round as well so you can really see the finish and the design. The finish and the attention to detail. Nice and shiny on one side, and then you have got that sort of texture on the other. Lovely to have your company this afternoon, and lovely to be bringing you such beautiful pieces. Absolutely adore it. And again, I agree with you. Maybe make a sort of piece on the bias, turn it into a focal point. I know you're the jewellery makers, you know better than me. But I can imagine you're already like smiling at these.
Yeah,
right
because
now.
it opens up a lot of new. You know, even if you know chunky jewellery isn't your thing, you know, handbag charms, things like that. You know, don't just think about
the obvious.
but that would be a great addition, wouldn't it? With, you know, key rings, loads of things.
Yes. Take the actual sort of hook off and make that into a pendant. It's a ready-made pendant, isn't it? Essentially, this part.
Absolutely.
If you take the hook off itself, and like I say, you could sort of embed, I don't know, pearl within, or a cabochon. So many different variations that you could do. Love it. Leave that with you. Congratulations. Sorry, say that again, my darling. You keep breaking up. I think I heard box 10. I can't hear you. Sorry, 1 second. My earpiece is starting to have a crackle. 1 minute. There we go. Box 10. Under the desk. What do you mean? In the drawer? Oh, here. Sorry. Sorry, everybody. For some reason, my talk back goes to show I do need fill in my ear. Oh, we've got beautiful, beautiful red jasper. Big deal coming your way. Red jasper, 200 carats of. Totally natural. You've got that wonderful formation of this gemstone. Big, affordable strand coming your way. £5.95. This will look beautiful with what I've just brought you.
Yeah, I was thinking exactly the same. That'd be a fantastic combination, wouldn't it? That rich red and that gold.
That really sort of buttery gold with that rich, yes.
That's fantastic.
Love that combination. Maybe just make a simple stretchy bracelet, or I don't know, well, not a stretchy bracelet, that'd be pointless, but to actually attach the actual clasp, but you know what I mean. Restrand it. See, you can tell I'm not a jewellery maker and I don't confess to be. £5.95 for 200 carats of natural red jasper. It is a gemstone, by the way, which in certain locations around the world can command some hugely considered price points. Chinese market loves jasper, absolutely adores, and I agree, because it has got the appeal of the formations you can see, and richness of colour, and this is totally and utterly natural. So if you love your agates, like I know Mark does, if you love gemstones like your mookites, if you love your labradorites, you love your sunstones, all those which will show their formation, then you'll adore red jasper also. Eleanor, Nicola, West Midlands, hello to you, Jacqueline, Elena, Diane, hello to you, Julie, Kathy, Valerie, lovely to be with you, Margaret, Rachel, Susan, Lincolnshire, Essex, lots of you getting involved. I don't get to see jasper that frequently. Like I say, I work across all the channels pretty much here at the Genuine Gemstone Company, and this is not a gem I see that frequently, and I love it. I absolutely adore. I mean, you think of, look at this here, very dramatic sort of striking blacks running through the centre. Through the centre of the gem, and again then you've got stripes on another one of your jasper solitaire, and then you've almost got entire fluidity of colour. Have they all gone? Almost all gone. I've got 10 remaining within the vault. 10, that's it. Once they're gone, they're gone. Incredible. Where did that come from again? Box 10. Oh, yes. Can I just bring that strand back? Look at this for a combination.
That's very warm, isn't it? You know, when you think about like cool and warm.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous.
Love that. Love that combination. Now, the only strand of citrine that I've brought you so far today. The only strand of citrine, this wonderful sunshine gem, and it's natural citrine. It's not enhanced by any heating in any way, shape or form, because you can intensify citrine by heating. This didn't need it, as you can see. All of those sunshine yellows. Like, yellow is one of the, well, it's known to be one of the most uplifting and cheerful colours of the planet, and I agree with that.
Yeah, it's a happy stone, isn't it?
It is a happy stone. Is it any wonder that certain makeup and perfume brands, actually there is a perfume called Happy, isn't there?
Yes, yeah.
And what colour's the box? It's yellow. It's yellow because it is a cheerful colour. In fact, what colour is Mr. Happy from the Mr. Men? He's yellow, isn't he? See, it's a happy, cheerful. Well, even the summertime. The fact you think of yellow, the sunshine. Sunshine. My director's just said, "What about Minions?" I love Minions. Do you know I've got a borderline obsession with Minions. I want a Minion. I do actually want a Minion. I have got Minions in teddies. My lovely better half keeps buying me Minion teddies.
Aww. Have you been to see the film?
Not the new one. No, not yet. I keep finding Minions dotted around the house. Just like, you know, sort of open your knicker drawer, Minion. Not actually, no. But I do find them like in the microwave. There's a Minion. Oh, I think it's just dead cute. 80 carats that you're seeing here, totally and utterly natural. Probably didn't need to tell you about sort of the Minion obsession that I've got. Anyway, it's a cheerful chappy, aren't they? They're cheerful.
They are.
They're happy.
They make you smile. Yeah,
they do
definitely.
make you smile. I like their little personalities. Hello to you, Eleanor, Pam, Shazza. Hello to you, West Yorkshire, Deborah, Lisa. Hello to you, new buyers getting $6.95. The only citrine that I've brought you today. The guys are all in a cheerful mood now because we've been talking about yellow, your citrine, and your minions. They're happy. Bananas, they love bananas, don't they? Do they love custard? Oh, you love custard. Oh, I love these. Are you ready, Claire?
I'm ready. I'm on my tippy toes now.
Oh, I love these. Phil showed me earlier on, prior to the show. Now, 350 carats of black agate with your window druzy. Now, look at, I'm going to have to show you them one at a time. Love, love, love. Never been on your screens before. Aren't they amazing? So you have got that smooth, this is texture again, isn't it? Is that tactileness, which is what's appealing.
And like mysticism as well, because it's like, it makes me think like a little fairy portal or something. It's like leading you into a magical world, isn't it?
A magical world, yeah. Look. Oh. So you've got the smoothness of your black agate. You're not just getting one, by the way. And then you have got the texture of your druzy, and I like the fact that, I love the fact that you have got that contrast of colour as well. So there's, never been seen before. Would you wire up this?
I would, yeah, absolutely.
As a pendant, or?
Yes, yeah. Or you could do it, you could do a cuff, couldn't you?
Could do a cuff?
Yeah.
Real statement cuff, couldn't you? Love, and again, here we go. Never been on your screens before. 350 carats. Oh, look, yeah, let's turn this round. Can you see almost, are you seeing a heart? $11.95. I love these. Do you agree? Real striking, very Victorian-esque in actual fact. Pieces. Cabochons, you first sort of came really, really popular, and you started seeing those ovals and the smoothness, if you like, similar to this in your cameos around the Victorian era. Now, obviously, they're not cameos, but it's that sort of size and that sort of statement, that sort of shape, it was always around the Victorian, almost Downton Abbey.
Yes, they are, aren't they? I mean, but even if you don't put them in jewellery, they're beautiful to just have and look at.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking, right, I don't know, with all of these, I wouldn't be able to do this, but wire wrapping and then a simple black ribbon.
Yeah, that would be beautiful, wouldn't it? Or like a choker style.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Simple black ribbon, tie it around to the neckline. There's a designer called there's various different designers that actually do that, but I've actually got a Lola Rose necklace, which is black agate. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is black agate, which actually has got on a leatherette strand. It might even be suede. Can't really remember, I haven't worn it in a while. But yeah, quick message coming into the studio from Fran. That square cabochon wrapped wire mount, set the cab on the mount with antique bronze gold wire. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now let's go over to our gorgeous Claire. Meeting for the first time today. Hopefully not for the last, gorgeous.
I hope not.
It's been fun.
I've had a lovely afternoon.
I have too. I have no better way of spending a Sunday afternoon, to be honest. How's your challenge been?
It's been okay. I have cheated a little bit.
How have you cheated?
Because I've done a little bit of the wire work before. Because I've done a lot of chatting today. So
well, to be honest, honey, we've worked you pretty hard today, haven't we? You haven't stopped.
I know. I'll have to have a lie down now.
Go and have a little lie down. Have a glass of wine. You deserve it.
I will.
Have a glass of wine. I think that's you deserve. You most definitely. Look at the beauty, though. Oh.
But sort of trying to replicate, the pendant that we saw in that catalogue. So just showing you, simple. For the £125, and I know it's different. It's a different size, and this one is faceted, which I prefer. But you know, you can
I
get
do as well.
wonderful effects. And if you, what's great about using them is they have got a drill hole. So I haven't used it there, but if you're a little bit unsure with your prong setting, you know, utilise that drill hole.
I love this prong setting.
Yeah, it looks really good, doesn't it? Because you're not overpowering the stone with the wire.
It actually, in my opinion, looks more elegant that way. It's like a very classic 4-claw setting that you would buy, you know, in your big jewellers. Love that, Claire.
But you can see there. I mean, that's not. That's my strand there. So I haven't. It's not even the largest.
No. That's the biggest.
Yeah.
These are the biggest.
Yeah.
And look at the labradescence that you're seeing. Every single one of amazing, amazing quality and grade. Not just, you know that here at Jewellery Maker you're going to get amazing quality, but to have labradescence which has got those, not just the blues, the greens, the golds, all with every single solitaire. And I know that's not coming across hugely on your screen, but isn't it amazing?
Oh, they're beautiful. They're beautiful, and some pinks as well. I've had in mine.
Yeah.
I always think they're like moody rainbows. That's what I think of them as.
I always call it the Heathcliff of the gemstone world.
Yeah.
I think there's a mystery to it. Anyway, lovely meeting you, and thank you for your company today.
Thank you.
It's been amazing, and thank you for your company today. But don't go anywhere, cars. You've got more coming up in this late show. I'll see you soon, everybody. Have a lovely Sunday afternoon.
I guess early cavemen may have used amber even as a torch before we had wicks and waxes. And the big benefit, of course, is the aroma is really beautiful. They even say that if you wear amber on a sunny day, just even the heat of the sun, or sometimes even just the heat of holding amber in your hand, gives off a lovely aroma.
So today on the introductory to jewellery making, I learned, as a first time having a go at making jewellery, we learned how